is flipped. And I took this exact same sunrise shot. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What up? You took this shot?
I didn't take the shot, but on my desktop I have this exact same shot, like the sun rising like that. So they just flipped it on this. So it's kind of ironic.
Like they mirrored it, like you had a different angle, like the other side. Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the sun should be on the left. I'm like, what? How come I can't get that angle? I'm like, oh, I've been there.
I've been there. Funny.
Because I used to live there, so
Yeah, well, you did.
The area, man.
We got to do the introduction.
Let's get it.
All right, yeah. Welcome to episode
20.
20. Welcome to episode 20. With I'm NappooBeats. I got my brother Boris, the Beast, with a special guest today. My cousin, Mr. Justin Tabije or Tabije, underneath the handle. Actually, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, Justin Tabije. I like that. My name is Justin Tabije. I'm a photographer. I've been doing this for a long time, since I was a kid, but I've been doing this, I would say, professionally since 2016, 2015, 2016. I enjoy landscape photography, but what people pay me for, I guess, is family portraits. I usually go to parks, especially right now, with the kids on the playground. Family pictures, holidays, Christmas. Christmas is a hot topic. But yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I got some questions to ask you. Heck yeah, man. We finna get in it, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cause hold up. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Wrong feed. I'm like, why the hell is it dark as hell? All right, so this is the thing, man. I always say this some Gemini shit, but I'm standing corrected. But I got a lot of interest, you know what I'm saying? So I've taken my excursion down the photography realm. And I took one class, but I got like a Canon fucking T3i. And you said earlier that you've been doing this since you were a kid. Like, can you take us back to that? Like, I feel that like your future is always written in your childhood, in my opinion. So like, if you could run us back there.
Yeah, I agree with that. My dad was a professional photographer, so he did this for a living. So he was grinding, like he had his own little office space with like film negatives and going through the slides. Like, I was a kid and I was, Dad, what are you doing? Like interrupting him, but he was always like, go play with your brothers. And it's funny looking at that now. I'm like, he needed that time for himself, and I didn't know how serious he was. I mean, I did, but I didn't know like how much time it took as an artist. But he would always bring his camera to family parties or any events, whether or not he used it, even if it was a single shot or plenty. He would bring it. And so when I was a kid, or as I got older, I'm like, Dad, can I use your camera? I just want to take this picture over here. And be like, yeah, as long as you put it away. So I started messing around with it, and like big ass family parties, I would snap away, and he would always be checking like, hey, did you put the camera away? It's expensive equipment. I get it now. But yeah. And then when he get into his conversations with the elder, like the aunties and uncles, he'd be like, hey, take a few more pictures of this while I go talk to them. I'm like, all right. And then as the years progressed, I got older and I started enjoying it. I didn't know, like at that time, we just had cell phones. I mean, we have pagers. We
Yeah.
had pagers. We didn't have access. We didn't have access to like what we have now. So I enjoyed it because um, the family members enjoyed it, and then you know he started. I guess from there he knew he was trying to get one of my me or my two older brothers involved because he kind of needed help. He was doing
Mhm.
weddings. He was doing weddings, and he needed people to carry his shit, his equipment. But at that time, I was too young for it, so my older brothers were first in line, and and he and my brothers didn't get it. I mean, they helped, but they weren't like into it. They weren't curious. They weren't asking questions. They were just doing it because that's what older brothers do. But with me, I was appreciated it from afar and asking questions and stuff like that. So um, you flash forward to 2007, sorry, 2012. I went on this road trip. Um, I went on this road trip that allowed me to live in a giant RV. I'm not all dark. See that?
Like,
Uh, to live in a giant RV and travel across the nation and interview people that are passionate about their work. So in the back of my head, I kind of had photography. This is called Road Trip Nation. Shout out to Road Trip Nation. They like changed my life.
Go.
But anyway, I took. I'm all, Dad, I want a camera. Like let me use a lens. Let me use something. And he gave me his fisheye lens, which
Mm.
uh, if y'all don't know my dad, he always had the top products like for like first generation, and so it was once he allowed me to borrow that, I went crazy with it. Like I loved it. It was a different point of view with like angles and like getting whole perspective, and he started to notice that. So he started letting me borrow more things. Like, hey, why don't you use this lens? Go back to the basics. And then that's when I started like understanding the dimensions, like the thirds, like what's your focal point, stuff like that. Um, and then 2016, he got sick, uh, bone marrow cancer to be exact, and he and then and because of that, the weight, like literally the weight of the camera, like was too heavy for him. So as I was documenting all this from my point of view, like with photography on the side, like I'm all, Dad, I got my own website. Sorry, I started taking pictures up in the Bay Area. He lived in Sacramento. I lived in Oakland area, and he started slowly giving me stuff, uh, letting me borrow it. He never said like, "Here, have it." It's like, "Hey, why don't you use this?" I'm like, "Okay, okay." And then I got hooked. I mean, from 2012 and up, I never looked back. Ever since that road trip, and then and then when he passed, when he passed, I knew that photography was bigger than me, and so and when I realized my brothers weren't as passionate about it, I started to take it on myself. Like, he had a lot of work he needed to finish that he never did. And so with all those things in the back of my mind and all the equipment, like what the fuck am I gonna do with this? It was actually a little overwhelming. And so I took my own path, like my own organization and all that. And so once I accepted, like, I am a photographer, but I got my own journey. then I just fucking spread like wildfire. That's when I started shooting and started getting involved with family portraiture, like what do people like? Um, Made my own website, and so that was, man, that was like the beginning of the end. Not the end, but like the
The
rest is
new
history, I
era.
guess. The new era. And so, like right now, like I woke up a little early because I wasn't sure like what time. Like like right now, I'm organizing photos. Like I want you to like come into my hard drive. Like, Tim, find me portraits of Ed and his family. So you go into Justin Tabije photos, family, immediate family, or Tabije, Edward and Shanae, Edward and kids,
Mm.
Texas. Like,
Mm.
so I guess where I'm going with that is I want to be known as a narrator 50 years from now, 100 years from now, as a guy that put everything together to tell the story of my
Mm.
family or everyone close to me.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
powerful.
Do you
Yeah,
have any kids?
no kids.
No kids.
No, no
Got
kids, no girl. I'm done with school. I work full time on the weekends. So the good thing about my job is it's only 3 days, but it's 3 12-hour shifts.
Mm.
So I grind it out for the weekend, and then I have time to like set my craft. So like on Monday when I'm clocking out, I'm like all excited, like I'm fucking going on vacation because I got my line, I got everything set up with what I want to do with photography or, you know, just everything in general.
Yeah, it's a continuous mission. One thing that I heard one time it said, the dreams that your parents have, sometimes they're not the one to take it across the finish line, but it's meant for the kid to take it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, where'd you hear that?
Man, I can't even tell you, but either through my grandpops
That's
or just
dope.
all this wisdom I've been hearing, man. But like when I heard it, I just got goosebumps again right now because it's like the parent starts off like how Ed is, you know what I mean? And like I ain't nothing wishing I known you, Ed, but like you never know, like out of all the things you're doing, what will Dominic carry the torch with? You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
Mhm.
as a mission. And so it's like the thing that I'm tripping off of is like you got two older brothers. Because when you was telling me the story and you said brother, I was like, man, I'm trying to wonder how many older brothers. And you was like, oh, I got two older brothers, and I'm like, oh, cool, I know. But the thing, what's his name? Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire had this meme on there, and he said like when your kids have goals and stuff, like gas it up. You know what I mean? Like when a parent doesn't support the child, like it can deflate them. But the parent is supposed to just give the child multiple things and then see what they resonate with, and then just feed them that more. So it's so dope. Like me, I ain't had no pops, and everybody gonna always hear that shit from a nigga that ain't got no pops. But I gotta say, man, like Ed has his story with his pops with certain materials and equipment that was already in the house, the microphones that lasted through years, certain
Yeah, that's
amps and
dope.
all that. And then so for me to hear like boom, um, always put the camera back, always put the camera back, like knowing how expensive it was. As a kid, you don't really grasp that concept. But at the same
Yeah,
time, he's trusting you with it. He still lets you use it, you know? And
yeah.
then to notice, like, oh, your brothers was just doing it, but you fucked with it for real. And he was like,
Hmm.
all right, since you fuck with this for real, go
Yeah,
back to the foundation, baby. Let's build you up
yeah.
right.
There's one time where I don't even know where I was at. I dropped the lens and cracked it. I dropped it. Actually, I think it was the same lens.
Fisheye. The fisheye,
Fisheye?
right?
The fisheye lens. Do you remember that, Edward?
Yeah, I remember taking pictures
Uh,
with it.
I, I was at our cousin Randy's house, and I put the camera on the counter, and his daughters were little girls at the time, and my strap was like kind of hanging, and they pulled it, and it just dropped lens down first, and I was trying to figure out like, fuck, dude, what am I gonna tell my dad? Like I rehearsed it, and telling him why, like the biggest excuse. It was just funny just seeing because all my cousins were there. They're like, ooh, but I at first I'm like, I'm glad that it didn't fall like on their feet or like get them injured because that's how heavy it was. But after that moment, I told my dad, and he's like, he gave me a lesson. He told me his 2 cents, but then after that, he's like, well, I got insurance, so I'm just gonna turn it in. But he just wanted to like have me
Still that lesson.
understand the importance of it. I'm like, fuck, I feel way better now. But yeah, I get it.
Crazy. They have insurance for those. I mean, I'm sure now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because how expensive
yeah.
they are. That's like a what? Like how many? Like thousands of dollar lens or
It was
just
it was about a G at the time.
a G?
At the
Okay.
at the
At
time,
the
At that
time.
time, yeah.
yeah. Um, so he had Nikon insurance.
Oh,
Um, and he because he's dropped a lens himself, so he understood. It happens, and that's why there's insurance. So yeah, that was interesting.
so I got a question for you. So you've been roughly doing this about a decade, like seriously now, roughly. So, um, out of all the pictures you've taken, what is the what is your what is the your favorite photo or photo session that you've done that that that's like been fun or that's been like just that meant a lot to you?
Um, actually, actually it wasn't the Golden Gate Bridge. It was the Bay Bridge. If you look in that picture, it's way in the back, and on a clear day you can see it. But on most days, which is like 11 months out of the year, maybe it's cloudy as fuck.
Mm.
And I was scouting. I was taking a picture on the Bay Bridge, and I'm like, fuck, this is a dope picture. Like, I wish someone was here to experience this with me. And so I FaceTime my dad. He was sick at the time, like 2015. I'm like, Dad, look at where I'm at. Like he's all be careful because I was on the cliff. I mean, that's just part of scouting. And he was tired, but he was like, you can tell he was like cheesing it. He was happy, and that meant a lot because I was showing him work. Like on the last years, I was showing him like the ones that I wasn't good at. Like he would critique me. Like I thought it was like my best shot. Going back to the Golden Gate Bridge, he's like, oh, there's a lot of darkness right here. I'm like, fuck, man, in my head. But but yeah, the Bay Bridge, um, the Bay Bridge and Sacramento. Sacramento is like 20 minutes from where he lived, so I would take my night shots. And I found out that later that night shots were his favorite, just like mine. Yeah, so there's a lot of those. There's not a lot of those, but that's the one that stuck to my head as soon as you said that.
It's funny that you're saying scouting, and I remember Tim. He used to say that he used to keep his camera with him all the time. Back at Best Buy, and that he said, "You never know. You just got to hop out the freeway and just jump out and just take a bunch of
Yeah,
pictures."
Straight up, man. So when you
yeah,
start saying, I'm like, dude, location scouting, man, because he's a photographer. I still say location scouting. He's like scouting. I'm like, I know what he's talking about. But and then Brandon told me one time, he was like, dang, Tim, but like pulling up to the side of the freeway to take a photo. Like, what if somebody pull over and kill you, man? I was like, dude, I'd die for that shot. That's what I said.
Time for that shot.
Because then
yeah,
Walter
man.
Mitty came out around that time, and like when you watch Walter Mitty, and there was photography in there, he wanted to like take a picture of this like what saber-tooth tiger or some shit like that, and he like did staying out in the cold, all this kind of shit that like it only comes around this time of year, and like so
Yeah,
but
that's cool, man. But yeah, that's scouting. Depends on the picture. It depends on what I'm trying to look for, but scouting is just as fun for me. Um, it's fun, like freeways, like yeah, looking for those nice shots. Where can I get those light trails on the intersections, especially in Cali? Those are fun. Um, but what's also cool is like, hmm, when Edward's brother Jordan got married in was that 2016. I woke up like 4 a.m. It was like the last few days of the trip, and
in New
I
York,
want
in New York, right?
in New York. Yeah, I wanted to take a shot of the Brooklyn Bridge, like the between the two brick buildings, and then it's just diagonally across. And I'd never been there, and I did research, but I didn't like go there before. I didn't scout it, but it's cool. Like I was on my phone. I'm like, well, if I'm coming up right here and I turn left and it's right there, I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking awesome. And so it's crazy. That's also fun.
That's funny. Yeah, well, I mean, visiting the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, because I know, like, because there's a bunch of famous photos, right? Like the I don't want to say cookie cutter photo, but the one that's taken the most, right, is that one and you're in the walkway, and the freaking wires just come up like that, like just freaking like all equal up to the middle, and then the side.
Yeah.
But what's it called? Oh yeah, talking about scouting again. When you made the trip out here to San Antonio, and what's it called? That was fun, dude. We got the birds and stuff. We went downtown. We got the birds. We're all freaking like on the scooters, freaking riding through the city, and freaking birds shitted on my shoulder. I thought, what is this?
Target acquired.
Yeah, bro. I felt the splash on my cheek and stuff. I was like, oh,
the residual splashback.
Yeah. Justin just looked at me. He was just like, fuck, man. That bird just dookied right on your shoulder.
I was I was actually gonna wait to see if you're gonna mention that. But yeah, that was like the beginning of. That was like the first hour. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I think I had like a over shirt or something like that, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna fucking ride with it, and I just like wiped it off. But it still stunk a little bit, but hey, the wind will dry it. You know what I'm saying?
It's water.
Yeah,
It's that water.
Use water. It won't hurt.
Yeah.
But I had
But
what's it called? We took the shot of the Alamo Dome, or you took the shot of the Alamo Dome, and I was just like videoing you and shit. So that was dope.
That was actually cool because no one's have. I'm always by myself, like 99% of the time. That's just how it is. So to have that on the back end of like the process of getting there, we're actually running a little late at the time, but it's cool like looking back and being able to like remember the details before the actual shot.
Hey man, anytime, bro. Anytime.
Yeah, that was cool. I appreciate that. Yeah. And he was my when I was doing the night shots. Where was that? Underneath the bridge with all the colors and shit. I was like, Ed, get on the scooter and go left to right. All right, slow down. All right, circle back and go like figure eights. And so that, I've never told you, Ed, that was my favorite shot of the year.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that, I'm like, damn. I gotta show you, Tim.
Please.
Yeah.
I haven't posted it. Yeah.
Please.
Are you on your computer right now? Or are you on your phone?
I'm on my
share
computer.
Screen. You want to share screen? Nah, we can do that later. You'll interview you, brother. I know, but that's dope.
Hey, either way, it might can be a shot that's on the side of the picture on your podcast thing. You know what I mean? You say you're in some visual.
You might see it right here somewhere over here. Or down here. Yeah. Now, what's it called? Yeah. So Tim, like when we're doing that shot, this fool had me out in the freaking traffic. it was like going in circles, and then on the sidewalk, it was in there. No, that was dope though. That was dope. It was dope.
But because you gotta like wait for cars to get that detail of the red light. And I'm like, that's only one car. I need like 3 cars at least. And it was a little later, so like we had. I mean, what was supposed to take 10 minutes took like half an hour.
Yeah.
And then and then there's like foot traffic. So I'm like, that would be cool. I like making people uncomfortable sometimes. I don't know. Like
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, cause I don't care and I know what I'm looking for. And like people are walking, they're probably drunk. I don't know. One of them was family, and so they I never talked to them, but little did they know that they were gonna benefit from my result of the picture.
Mm,
It's good.
Yeah,
mm.
so
I do have like so. One thing I want to point out is Ed just had his wife do redo his beat tag. And the
mhm,
same similarity I'm noticing, because like when we was
Okay.
talking about how creative endeavors and artists and things like that, you just said it right now. You said you like to make people feel uncomfortable, but then another thing you said is the same thing Ed said. You know what you want, and when you know what you want, it's easier to direct somebody. You know what I mean? And you directed Ed the
mhm.
same way Ed directed his wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
the question I have, because you said earlier, you said you love street photography because that's where I came in. I was like, dude, I love street photography. But then when I was trying to go down the path of like trying to make money off this shit, I'm like, portraits is where it's at. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
how did how did it go the first time you had to direct somebody when you didn't have that experience? Hold up, that's me saying
It
10 minutes.
it
Oh no,
was what's up? Go ahead.
no, my bad. So on the Zoom meeting, like real quick, the Zoom meeting only gives you 40 minutes at a time. I just got the notification for 10 minutes. So we're at 9:02. So just I guess just keep eye on the chat. I'm gonna keep
9 minutes left?
well, yeah, well, you could just stop it and then redo it
Yeah.
again. So
No,
we'll fix.
I remember that. I remember that was gonna happen. I'm like, damn, time flew already.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh, that's why
that's
you're like,
all.
oh, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
I sucked. Like I I'm soft spoken. I mean, I'm soft spoken. I didn't. It's hard to direct someone what you have in your head, just like it is with music. Um, but like I my first direction was with portraiture, and it was a couple, and it was my first commission job. So I did all my scouting and whatnot. But like, there comes a point where all you have to do is like take action. That's all
Mm,
that's left. So I did all that, and the pictures came out okay. But like, I, ideally, I'm supposed to knock out a session between a good legit session should last 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. I took like a couple hours. they
mm,
they had they had time. They understood that. They understood like, I know this is engagement photos, but I understand that this is your first time. And so once that happened, they knew that, they just understood that. So they were patient with me, thankfully. And then from there, I just grew confidence. Yeah. What were you gonna ask me?
I know, my bad. I didn't want to throw
No,
off your
no, go
train
ahead.
of thought. My bad. But the thing, because like I'm drawing all the parallels of like if you're a photographer, director, or artist, graphic designer, clothing, anything art wise, I'm noticing all these parallels. Just like how you have parallels with your pops, you know what I mean? Because you had that artistry, your pops has that artistry. Your brothers didn't
Hmm.
necessarily draw to that particular aspect. But now the thing that we all run into when we go down this pathway, because you were like, man, I've been doing it as a kid, but I've been doing it professionally since 2015, 16. When we all try to do this professionally, the hardest one is getting that first job. So I wanted to know, how do you even get that first job? Because they had enough love for you to be like, hey, we know you new. We're gonna show you the love. We
Uh-huh.
got time. Like, how did that even come about?
Networking. That's it. I mean, I'm still working on my hashtags, and they say hashtags is gold. And for some reason, not everyone can get on that page. I mean, hashtags takes a lot of work. Oh my bad. And I don't I I had to let people know what I'm doing, and I had to be upfront. Like, hey, I know you want these pictures, but you're gonna be my second session. Are you okay with that? Yeah, yeah, that's cool. What gave me confidence into proceeding is that they saw my work on Instagram. I'm active on Instagram, so like, not only was it word of mouth, it was through the work I have that I didn't even know they were looking at. So it was both. It was both, and then YouTube, man. Like I s- looking through all the videos and just figuring it out. So that I think confidence was the biggest help because you can't fake that it's your second session, you know? You just got to be like, "Hey, got this. I don't care." Like there when I look at my not at those ones in particular, but looking at old work, I'm like, man, I'm pretty good. Like I can actually do this. You know, third, fourth, and fifth, I'm like, dang, you start getting creative. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring my I I need to bring some I gotta make some good playlists. Like what do they like? Oh, the Filipino, they probably like that R&B, you know. You know, so you start to connect the dots.
Mm.
And then man, it yeah, like you can't lie, you can't fake experience, but you can definitely present it as if you've been doing it for the longest time. Yeah.
Hey, so you're setting up like a whole experience with them. So that's the difference between what's it called a person that pays attention to details. Because one person might just be like, "Oh, here, I'm gonna take photos of you," but then like they could be good, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but if you have the whole thing where you make them feel comfortable, they're gonna remember that most of all. Like so, when they see the pictures, they'll think about the photo sessions of you
Yeah.
capturing their their love or whatever that you're capturing. So that's
I
dope.
uh
I agree with
I
that. So that's dope.
actually I I asked for feedback. I I photographed my homegirl Janelle um in Santa Ana somewhere, and I was so focused on all right, well, we did the session, then and then I'm like, here are the pictures before I even posted it. Well, can I get some feedback? What did you enjoy about it? Blah blah blah. And she's like, I had so much fun. Thank you so much. Like the music was dope. You just need to be uh, on the like after that. You just need to be more comfortable. Like I was feeding off of your energy, and sometimes you're not paranoid, but like you were looking at the time, and it was her first time, so like it
Mm.
rippled effect. And I never told her unless she watches this, but I was focused on the time. I see that 3 minutes, by the way. I was focused uh, on the lighting, like the angles and the time. Like I was running out of time, and she noticed that, and I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Um, I should have just focused more on my flash and you know eliminate a few more locations so we can like focus and kind of connect at this location behind the graffiti wall. You know,
Yeah, damn.
Shout out to Janelle.
Shout out
Straight
to
up.
Janelle.
Janelle Birkenbach. Yeah, she was dope. Like I connected to her because I connected with her because she's like a hip hop head. Like she got the sneakers, she got just like her personality, her clothing. I'm like, dude, I need to hit this girl up.
What do you mean by
Yeah.
So
that?
Yeah,
What do you mean by
that's what
that?
I'm
What do you mean
saying.
by that?
I'm like, you sound like me from 3 weeks ago.
Let's
oh
get to the
yeah,
real
that
shit, man. Let's get to the
that
real
was
shit. You know
episode
what I'm
17. No.
saying?
Yeah. Uh
I was really feeling your vibe. I know you connect with me. You know what I'm saying? So you know what
yeah.
is it? You know what it got to be. You know what?
What's it gonna
Yeah.
be?
What's it gonna be?
Hey,
Uh,
Ed got with his wife because she was a music head all up in it too, man. That's when you start seeing
that's
stuff like
true.
that. I just be seeing the
On the flip side, I mean, to add to that, just in general, like that, there's like a certain connection with when you get when you get a good vibe from someone, whether it be like outside of music and clothes, you just like you get drawn into them for
mm,
whatever reason.
mm.
It don't matter if uh like you just met them or like if I'm bartending and I'm connecting with a conversation at the bar top and I'm serving them, you know. So there's like little specs to tell a good story. You don't need much, to be honest.
Mm. And with that, we're gonna take a pause and we come right back. So we can
quick
keep that going.
commercial break.
Yeah.
Until we get this upgrade to Pro, but I'm not trying to spend money right now.
Yeah, not yet. Man, I think Discord's probably gonna be the wave when we really do this shit for real. So that way, because like, remember, I was in the Discord with them and they sharing the screen for fucking. We watching a whole season and nobody got to go through no reconnect shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, because
hey, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, so about to end. Hey, I'm about to go blow my nose. I've been wiping my nose this whole time, so I got to keep a thing in there.
All right, so that just ended. It's gonna come back. We're gonna be back. What can I do? My face is not here. You're here though. Welcome, motherfucker. This is Producer Thoughts. This is what we do, bitch. You've been with us from fucking day one. You know that we fucking been doing this shit because we're not letting fear stop us. We're not letting perfectionism stop us. Fucking doing this shit. We're on a motherfucking mission. Man, this shit is dope, man. I'm trying not to get too geeked, man. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's like this is one of my passions, man. Like this is easily something that I could really like further my skills in. You know what I'm saying? Because like I got a fucking I got a Canon T3i with about 5 lenses. 4 lenses. The 18-55 that it came with, which my camera's not on, so you can't even see this shit. But 18-55, I got a 40mm stepping motor one, and then I got a 50mm 1.4, and then I have a 70-300 0.5. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't just fucking I want to let them tell the story in a clean fashion. You know what I'm saying? Without no interruptions. So I'm trying to like, it's whack because I don't want to curb my enthusiasm because I like getting geeked over this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's also like for another person who is geeked about this kind of shit. It's like, damn, all right, somebody else that can relate to. Because like, if motherfuckers don't know what the rule of thirds is, if motherfuckers don't know about aperture and fucking f-stops, you know, it's the same thing. White balance, exposure, fucking, you know what I mean? It just feels like you learning an extra language that you can't really speak to people about. But when you run across another motherfucker, you're like, hold up. What? Kamusta ka? What? What motherfucker? Mabuti naman? Ah, you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what the deal is, man. I'm loving this shit. This shit. Man, life is good, man. Let's see what it do. What it do, baby. Wamp, wamp. What it do. Yeah, man. See? We all just got to climb to new heights, just like this motherfucking rocks right here. Yeah, baby, we out here. Let's go. Woo. Hey, woo. Let's go. Woo. 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 Hey.
Oh, there you go.
Let's go. Let's go.
How come I can't see him on my chat?
You didn't add him as a contact, probably.
I thought I did. Oh, here, he's right here.
Cool. Let's go. Hell yeah.
This is actually kind of cool doing the intermissions during the interviews. Yeah,
I think so. I was talking for like a cool 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I didn't want it to be dead space, you know, for the Spotify listeners. We looking out for y'all.
Oh yeah.
You don't know how far to fast forward when it's not quiet and shit.
But yeah, like, it's hard to take care of dead space. That's some radio etiquette for sure. So for all you guys that don't know or that want to start a podcast, make sure there's no dead air, dead space, space. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say something cool, but I guess I didn't.
Dead space is a waste.
Yeah, there it goes. I heard my cousin came in my backyard. So welcome back, Justin. All right, what's it called? So I was at work last night. And this girl, she was talking about how she draws. Well, she's my coworker, so we always talk and stuff. She's like, yeah. She's like, I used to draw, and I told her, I was like, yo, stream that shit, like stream it. And she was like, yeah, pretty much got to stream everything, right? So she's like the pharmacist. So me and her are real cool. But she was like,
hold up, because you corrected me last time, so I want to make sure I'm clear. You said she's like the pharmacist. Is she a pharmacist or is she a pharmacy tech?
Oh, my bad. She's the pharmacist. She is the pharmacist. I'm the tech. She's technically my boss, but what's it called? So she was telling me she used to draw. What up, Justin? Oh shoot. What's this connecting audio? What's up, Justin?
Yo.
Welcome back.
All right. So
Bang.
this so the girl so the pharmacist she's talking about how she used to draw, and she's like, I was like, how come you don't want to like stream it, or you don't want to, or whatever, right? She's like, the thing when I used to draw all the time was, she's like, I can never. He's like, you know how she was telling me, he's like, you know how you're your own worst critic. I was like, yeah, I know that. I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah. I was like, what happened? What, do you compare yourself to other people and stuff like that? She was like, no. She's it's more like, she's like, I like to. So what is it called when the artist draws like specific objects that they see, like like the
still life
life.
Yeah, still life drawing.
Still life. So she's into that, and then she was like, yeah. She's like, I couldn't. She's like, I could never get it perfect. She's like, I just couldn't get it perfect. I was like, well, it's never gonna be perfect. Like it's never gonna. She's all that's true. I was all, look. What I said. I was like, oh yes, it's never gonna be perfect. It's like it's always gonna have its like insecurities, or it's always gonna have something wrong with it to you. I was like, but you never. I was like, so when you. I was like, so when an artist draws something, right, or creates something, right, it's not the fact that you're trying to draw that. You're trying to draw what's you, essentially, right? So when you're looking at it, those imperfections are you, rather than the object's imperfections or your skill. So she was like, damn, Ed. Like,
Yeah.
and I was all, I said it and I took a breath. I was like, man, that's fucking powerful as shit. I was like, I surprised myself saying that deep ass shit right there. I was like, man, because it goes with everything. It goes with everything. Like photography, you take a picture, it's your eyes that you're taking a picture of. So what you're taking a picture of is essentially you. And same with music. You make it beat, like me and Tim always talk about, if we had the same beat pack, the same sounds, right? The same everything. And we just like, all right, you make something.
Even the same BPM.
BPM, yeah, same tempo, everything. Still come out different. Yeah, because he'll create himself. Yeah, he'll create himself and I'll create myself.
Woo! That's deep. He'll create himself and I create myself. I ain't ever look at it like that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about art in general. It's like one of my, it's probably my favorite word to like represent, because you can go in all aspects, into music, into even martial arts, which is like really important to me. In a photography, and that reflects on your life. Like sometimes, when I'm grinding at work, I'm like, I gotta be the best version of myself during these hours of work, because that reflects what I do outside of work as well.
Curtis King said that, didn't he? Oh, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. And so like, yeah, Matt. So to add to that, I'm like, when Edward asked me like if I wanted to join the session, I'm like, how would I connect? Like, how would I relate? And I'm like, and then I was looking at the other episodes that it was all in, or all the episodes that you guys talked about. I'm like, these are all different levels of art expression. And then I could go to episode 6, and they can talk about like the music structure of it, and or I can go to episode what was that, 16 with Chris. Chris was in there. I'm like, damn, that motivated me, because I've listened to like all you guys, or all your episodes, and so like when he went in,
appreciate
like,
you, brother.
Yeah. So you know that track I was telling you, Tim,
yelling in the background.
No, it was was it?
Yelling in the background.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Like, you guys took a long
like he's
break.
doing straight out. It sounds like you're mouthing straight out.
Like it was running for like 5 minutes. You guys took a break for a minute. and then you're like, this could be a tiger bee right here for sure.
Oh, tiger beat. Oh, it was a Bay Area
Oh,
beat.
it's
That's
the Bay Area beat we working on. Double sty eye.
Double side because you like this. You get that? You got that styles? You said, oh fuck.
Yeah, Tim, how's that style doing? Is all right now?
Man, look, you do listen. He's fucking tapped in.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I thought you talking shit about me, man. If I could do it.
Yeah, that was funny as fuck. So I went to work. I went to work the next day and I bumped that in the car. I'm like, the snare on that. I really like that snare on there. And then that trap page. I'm like, yeah. I would bump this during a photo shoot and they would be like, oh, you know, same shit.
Let's go. I'm
looking to photograph an artist out there. So if you guys find one in the LA area, let me know and we'll link up. I got a few in line right now, but you know, the more the merrier.
Yeah, and that's exactly like when I was talking to Ed and you said it's gonna be on, I was like, man, I already seen the correlation. I'm like, dude, photographers, I'm like, when you look at the team of what it takes for everybody to be successful doing this kind of shit, we all supposed to wear multiple hats because we ain't got no money to hire motherfuckers. But at the same time, when you look at your League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you know everybody you really need to have on some real shit. When I asked Ed, I was like, hey man, you know any graphic designers? You know any photographers? You know any dancers? Yeah. I'm like, if you look at all the elements of hip hop, I'm pretty sure we ain't even got to go 6 degrees of separation to get there.
Yeah, not even 2. Basically, like hardly even 2 or 3. 3 at the most.
But. So my barber is in a music engineer. He's doing that in Hollywood, and we just talk about music. We just talk about like what we've been up to, and he's like, man, I really love how like photographers can grab something and just turn it into whatever's in their head and like make it stand out on all. That's how I feel about your music, man. He's all yeah. So like we complement each other. Like there's no one without the other. And so yeah, that's true, man.
Oh, I added him. Actually, we should get him on here too. I haven't met him yet, so I'm about to like DM him.
Bassa. Yeah, he's only 20 years old and he's killing it right now. Like, fuck, what was I doing at 20? Like, you know, my mindset came a little later after fun and, you know, and life.
Live it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
We were just talking about that on the stream, on the Apex stream. Or was it Apex stream or before that?
I think it was Apex when we were talking about what whole phase and shit like that.
Yeah, going to clubs and shit with like only an hour of sleep.
Yeah, that was last night. Apex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, why did I used to wait like an hour or two in line just to get into a club that's hard to get a drink? And like, it's just funny looking back at that. Like, that's not even fun. I mean, I guess it was a little fun. But
yeah, you know it. You get up in there. Once you got in, once you got in.
There's some beautiful people up in there, I'll tell you that much.
Beautiful people enjoying beautiful music. Now, I do, because one thing I was tripping off of. So I'm going to fill y'all in on what I was saying when we took the little intermission, because I didn't want to know dead space. I was saying, I apologize, because I'm not trying not to cut you off and shit. But since, like, look, my damn lens is right here. This is one of my passions. And, like, since I didn't focus on it, like, this is one of them things that I could have just, like, I could be a photographer instead of you know what I mean? Because in 2012, I had bought the camera and I bought the APC-40. Now that I think about it. So those are 2 different directions I could have went in. But I only took 1 camera class. But I said, I'm trying not to cut you off because I'm geeked about this shit. Because, like, just like how I was talking to Ed about it, I was like, man, when you know about this stuff, it's kind of like you learn a new language that don't everybody speak. So, like, everybody not going to know f-stop, aperture, white balance, shutter speed, like the rule of thirds. Like, you said the thirds earlier, but I'm like, dang. When you said that, I'm like, if motherfuckers don't know about photography, you don't even know what he means by the third. So then when you say rule of thirds, at least that's what's it called, the lookup. But it's like all these concepts, And so you don't really, when you said you're by yourself 99% of the time, I know that experience. I was location scouting. Like I went on a mission to take pictures of the top 10 California beaches, at least the ones I can get to.
Ooh, yeah,
The ones you could get to.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't going to go
Yeah.
up north and shit. But,
yeah.
but as I did
You-
that,
Which I should add though, like make your way up the coast. It's like it gets different every 100 miles or so. Like it's breathtaking. So take a week off the Cali coast. We're lucky. But yeah, go ahead.
Man, I want to move back. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, the beaches. Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
by yourself 90% of the time, and so I was in my headphones all the time, and I'm like just bumping my music. But what ended up happening was, so in the desert, right? Like I know, like you know, like Daniel Cruz, J.C. Guzman. There's like a group of photographers up there, and they call like the something with a bird. They got like a little crew though. It's basically like b-boy crew, but photographers.
Damn.
And
Dope.
they told me to go to this thing called, and it happened in February. I think I went February 2013 and 14. I went back-to-back years, but it happens in Vegas, and it's called the WPPI, the Wedding and Portrait Photographers International Convention. You ever heard of that?
No, never.
It's fake.
Let me.
He said, "Oh,
Yeah, because I thought every photographer knew about it. When I got there, it was like photography heaven.
oh, kind of like how
What's it called?
It's called WPPI. WPPI. It's kind of like CES or whatever them like electronic
NAMM?
show. Yeah, NAM. Yeah, like NAM, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's NAM, but for photography.
I don't know.
And the reason why it was so dope was speaking of which, yeah. So I had my iPad and I had my Dre Beats, and I'm just like walking through. Where was it held at? What hotel is that? MGM. It's MGM. And then they got like little sidebar things. They got nightlife, everything, all playing for photographers, dude. It was the best shit. I went 2 years back to back. And so when I went out there, I just was acting like my normal photography self. I had my camera bag and I had my iPad and I had my shit. I'm gonna take my notes, I'm gonna bump my music. So I'm bumping my music and I'm waiting in the Starbucks line and I'm bumping a mix that I made, like a DJ mix. It was 2 hours. So I'm in line just bumping the mix to myself, like just getting it. You know, if I'm gonna be by myself, I'm gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm getting it. I'm all getting it by myself. And then the next thing I know, 3 girls walk over. I'm like, they walk over and they like tap me. And I'm like, oh, what's up? And they're like, hi. And I'm like, hi.
Hey,
How y'all doing? Yeah, like y'all talking to me? He was like, we just seen you from over there and we just had to come over here because you just look like you're having so much fun. What are you listening to? And I'm like, oh, I'm listening to a mix I did. Hold up, mix? You DJ? I'm like, oh, a little bit. Oh my God, we're photographers. I'm all for real. And so yeah, Polly Mendez, Christina something, and then Sonia, all 3 of them. I fucking, I took pictures with all of them feeling like a pimp. But what tripped me out was, since I knew them from that little experience at the Starbucks, I walk in the convention with them. Now I'm walking around with them. Now I know people. Then I meet some other guy. This other girl comes over. I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, I'm like, hey, I'm new. This is my first year. What should I do? She's like, well, you're doing it now. All you need to do when you come here is talk to people. We're all in the same field. We all do the same thing, but we do things different. Some people are only headshots. You can be a portrait, but some people only do kids. Yeah. Some people only do family. Some people only do engagements. Some people only do weddings. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when I went to the nightlife, I meet some more photographers there. I met a girl from Pasadena and she's like chopping it up with me. She's like, ooh, I just love your vibe. Remember you talking about how the vibe drawn in? She was like, because I can tell how you just listen to me when I'm speaking. That's what she told me. And I was like, what? I was like, I am listening. I'm trying to learn, baby.
What's your name again?
I'm saying, for real.
Room 301.
But it was the best feeling because, like, from my experiences of going to all these conventions, like I've been to music festivals, I've been in the gaming conventions, I've been to fucking the E3s, I've been to photography shit, I've been in these acting fucking symposium bullshits. And the realest people are the gamers because everybody just owns their weirdness. The coolest people are the photographers. Reason why I say that is because just like how you was talking about earlier on how to rapport and what you know to do in the environment with the clients, then that
Yeah.
never leaves you. So then in any environment you
Yeah.
in, you know how to adapt. And so when you clubbing with
Hmm.
photographers, you talking and then it's so I asked the girl, I'm like, so what ends up happening? Like, why is this so beneficial? She said, because these networking situations, everybody can't always be available every time. And I'm like, huh? She's like, look, so you're in Van Nuys and I'm in Pasadena and I shoot.
Hmm.
But if I can't shoot and I know you're cool and I like your work, then I can slide my client to you. And that's all we do. We just slide them. And so we
Yeah.
all end up growing out of this situation.
Yes, I agree. And that's the beauty of it. Like, I don't want to have it all figured out right now. Like, you tap in,
Wow.
because when you get out of your comfort zone and you tap into something that you don't that you're not comfortable in, like, so I do Muay Thai. So at my gym, they have all different various types of martial arts, and I love to train, but I was no photographer for it. So once I started sampling, once I started, yeah, like just bring my camera in and bring my equipment, like letting people know like what I'm trying to do,
Mm.
that like that drew them in for me to like, uh, hey, let me take your picture. And so I started geeking out myself. I'm like, damn, this is dope. Like I had no idea that I would enjoy it because I was so focused on just training and being at the gym like my normal self. So yeah, man, like to add to that, that's why I like this concept of producer thoughts, because um you know, none of us have it all figured out, but like that's the beauty of it. It's a journey. and and you know what, like Kobe Bryant has said that like many years ago, and I really I really absorbed it and like applied it to myself. I like those sayings like, and when you can like when it ends, and until you can figure that out, when you can figure that out, then you'll understand what I'm saying. Like, you had a lot of those moments, and and I apply that to photography as like on art, actually on all levels.
Hell yeah.
Man, and that's why, and I do like that you said that. He said that's why I like producer thoughts. Blah, blah. I'm like, man, shoot,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
when you look at the word, it still applies to all art. All art needs to be produced.
We're all producers, right?
All producers,
We're all
Hmm.
producers.
because when you watch a movie, they got producers. Now you don't see them fools, but they put their money into the shit to make sure that you seen the movie, and so it was produced. And so the thing I'm tripping off of, right? Like, so you got photography. Like I always trip off of creative outlets. That's my thing. Like we make the beats, that's our main thing, but then I get the gaming as my side thing. You said Muay Thai. Can you explain what chord the Muay Thai hits that's different from what the photography hits?
Ooh, can you ask me that one more time?
Yeah, yeah. When you shoot photography, there's a certain level of fulfillment you get because you're doing it for people. But when you're doing Muay Thai, that's pretty much for yourself until you say
Mhm.
you brought your camera in and stuff like that. But like you said, you love to train. That's the
Yeah,
kind of person you are. What do you get? What feeling? What fulfillment?
yeah.
Uh, what feeling rises
Uh,
within you when you're doing Muay Thai? And is it the same chord or is it different from when you're shooting photography?
it's I think what is important is tapping into their perspective. So when I was training, I understood what I was doing, like the technique and stuff. And so with boxing, uh, when like you know, having understanding that allowed me to know when to snap that photo. Like, oh, he's about to throw a right hook, because if you don't know that, you're too late. Like you literally have milliseconds, so you're snapping before he even throws that right hook. I just know like, oh, he threw that left. He's gonna throw something else. And so posture, time, like where they at? Are they gassed out? there's a lot of elements and layers to consider, like, and then you go into detail, like, this guy's just warming up. I'm gonna wait till like he's working out for, hour till he's all fucking sweaty and kind of tired, and then that'll add intensity, you know. And I wouldn't know any of that. I mean, I would know that if I was just watching it and observing, but when combos and stuff, you're like, oh man, like when you anticipate a combo that they're gonna throw. If I'm talking about like if I'm holding the mitts, like ba 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 ba, like I have he's gonna do A, B, C, or D. But either way, I'm gonna capture it and then go from there. I'm gonna review it later. So that all those elements, and then just knowing their background, it's weird. Like, it's funny because when I'm talking about this, because no one really asked me this stuff. Producer thoughts, but
We do this every week.
We do this shit every week.
it's all. Hey, you're welcome. But it's it. There was a documentary, Abstract. There's one with photography, and I forgot his name, but I'll let you know when I find it. He connects with the person before the actual photo shoot. Like, he dives in, talks about their family, how are you doing, emotions, what makes you happy, blah blah blah. And so all that taps into, like, that, going back to Muay Thai, that taps into like how they're gonna, like, their form. Like, is it gonna look good? Like are they mad? They're gonna, like, kind of cringe. So you have to discover not only what you have to you have to tap into their personality for them to expose it, because they might not they may be feeling it, but for them to express it, and then for me to express it on a photo, is like, it's hard. And so I think, I wouldn't say it lacks, but people forget to, like, take those few minutes to ask, hey, how you doing, everything good, did you eat? If I'm doing family portraits, did the baby sleep? Like, is he hungry? What do you like, Disney music?
Mm.
Where you guys got to go anywhere? Hey, the sun's right here. Let's redirect. You know. So, to answer your question, draw getting to know them on a personal level, whether it be for 5 minutes or for as long as, like, a couple years. Like, you still have to take that moment to get to that level. So when I saw when someone reiterated it on that abstract show, I'm like, yes, like, it's true. And like, one of the pictures, like, it was just some of the pictures he took, they were just like kind of still, and they had like a little smirk, but he mentioned a story, like how he reminded him like how powerful you were.
Mm.
And so he went from like being like, are we done yet, to like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So that's dope. Like, all that for a smirk, you gotta dig that deep. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
The psychology to it, huh? That's crazy.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yep. I like your guys' backgrounds, by the way.
Thank you. Um, my guy is Revan from Star Wars. Well,
Mhm.
I had read this book about Revan. It was an audio book. I used to listen to it on the way to work. But it was a pretty dope story. I didn't know who he was. I always hear about him, so I had to geek out on some Star Wars shit. Uh, make sure I wasn't a freaking what's it called, a poser. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
had to get my information on it and get it from the
Educate
source.
yourself.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
If there's one thing I want to do, is not be a poser in front of these people that'll just like outschool me
Call
on
you
some
out.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call me
Yeah.
out like, look, nah, no, I swear, like I swear, I know about what I'm talking about. You're okay,
Yeah.
baby. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I just watched. I'm starting to watch Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I'm on the first season. It's pretty cool. I like I like the actor, the one who plays the droid. Is it droid? Yeah. I'm not good with Star Wars, but that guy's on Narcos. He's one of the main guy on the Netflix show. I'm like, that guy sounds really familiar. I actually thought it was the guy was on Titanic, the one that's trying to find the diamond. I thought it was that guy.
The freaking
that,
cook. He's all, I have a
yeah,
baby. That guy. He like takes
yeah.
the baby from the.
Yeah, I thought it was that guy. But yeah, it's the guy from Narcos. Let me look up his name.
The main dude from Narcos, the main dude with the mustache. Not
his partner.
Oh, damn.
No. He's the one that kind of speaks Spanish. He's a Hispanic dude. He's the one. Have you guys seen like all the episodes? You should tap into that. That's fire. But anyway,
Narcos.
Yeah, Narcos on Netflix.
Oh, yeah,
it's a drug cartel show or series.
Remind me of Weeds. That was the last kind of shit like that. Or no, Breaking Bad. I guess is the last kind of cartel kind of thing I've watched.
True.
Yeah, it's actually just as, I mean, Breaking Bad's my favorite, but Narcos is up there. Probably right next to that and Ozark. That's fire too.
Yeah, Ozark. Missionary was watching that. I didn't get to finish it though.
Yeah.
But damn, all right. So besides Muay Thai and photography, like what else are you into? What else do you like to do besides that? Extracurricular activities, you know? Show the human side. You have to dance.
Dance. It's in the family, baby.
Yeah, everyone knows what's up. Like, I'm not bad, but I just love I love being on the dance floor. I fucking like I watch videos and just like kind of like appreciate it. And it's a good form of exercise, you know? Like you got to find other ways to like keep you occupied. Like I don't want to do Muay Thai all the time. I don't want to run. I don't want to do soccer. You got to switch it up. And that's why I love dance. That's why I love which goes back to music, like all these elements. Like Tim, I just barely start following you these past couple of weeks, so I'm like watching your stuff. I'm like, man, that's dope. And then you add the visuals because I'm a visual person, so it's like, yeah, Jerome's in the house. So yeah, like I fuck around and dance like him too.
Thank you, man. Get loose, man. Get loose.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny?
But yeah.
Oh, my bad. My bad. It's just funny because you and Tim are like in my eyes, you and Tim are like almost the same, like to me. Because you guys both.
You said that about EJ.
Nah. I'm talking about that's the gaming though. But look, here I'm gonna list a little. I'm gonna get these little lists. Watch, I'll show you. So, both of you guys DJed at one point or knows about DJing. Both of y'all do photography. Yeah, man, we went in on that jam-pack Newmark DJ. Remember that shit?
I know, yeah.
Spent like $300. I was like, just have it, and then I have it here now. So, I just haven't used it. So yeah, DJing, photography. We'll just listen to music. Besides producing music, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You both single? Yeah. You're above 30, single.
Hey, you live in Vegas?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas, man.
How long you been there?
Since August.
Oh, newly. Like August 2020.
Yeah, August 2020. Yeah. That shit was fresh.
So you haven't got that Vegas. I mean, you used to go to Vegas a lot, but now like you're in there.
And I don't do that. I went to the Strip one time and I was doing a delivery. That's the only time and the second time I went to the Strip, I went to a hospital. I fucking thought I was dying. But yeah, fucking besides
how far are you from the Strip?
15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
You don't want to be too close either.
Yeah. Well, because man, I used to make money like a motherfucker out here, man. So I do like that I'm grown. I couldn't have came out here back when I was coming out here once a month. Like 2013, I was on one.
Yeah.
So like it's cool Cause like, you know,
Yeah.
people look at me like, oh, you're fucking you know how they call shoobies and shit, like off Rocket
Yeah.
Power. They
Fucking
like
shoebies.
yeah. Cause that's how you feel in Vegas. Like everybody who's a
Shoes to the
Vegas
beach.
local, they looking at shoe. Everybody that's visiting as shoobies. Like you feel the air of it. So when they see me rolling around my LA hat and shit like that, unless when I go into a dispensary, then they like, hey man, you from LA? And then they want to talk to me about LA shit. Hey, Fox Hills Mall, 5 freeway, traffic. They're like, you
That's
understand?
funny.
But yeah, so that way I'm not up in these hotels just fucking making money and losing money, because I'm up on Vegas. I never like out of all the times I came out here, especially in 2013, I came out once a month. I'm still up. So I don't want to switch
cool.
that.
Yeah, you can easily be distracted if you let it.
Dude,
You know.
you can go to 7-Eleven.
Hey.
I go to 7-Eleven and the lady walked out. I'm in there buying some water and shit. And then they was talking about the lady who left and like the workers at 7-Eleven. And they was like, yeah, no, that's it. She's gone. She'll be back. And I'm like, what? But like, you could tell she lost money because of the way she walked out. You know, you walk out happy if you won. And I'm like, fuck, this is so whack that it's that accessible at a damn gas station that motherfuckers live here will go to the gas station, get their beer and shit, lose some money on some slots, go home, drink that pain away, get some more money to go back and do it. And I'm just like, oh, that perpetual cycle is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Man. Now the thing that I'm tripping off of, because thanks, Ed pointed out, you know, over 30 and single and shit, you know. Back when I was shooting photography.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's reality.
It was no slight. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, double star eyes. It's out there.
Oh man, now I feel bad. Oh damn.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But like,
Just saying.
what I used to want was back when I was location scouting and shit. It's like that extra pair of hands, that extra person. It does mean so much. Like. And where I did mess up was like, so the people in Victorville, one of the homies was like, hey man, do you want to help me on this wedding shoot? He's like, it doesn't get any pay, but like it's gonna give you experience and like you can use any photos that you take and put it in your portfolio thing. But at the time I was working 2 different jobs and I was like, dude, I really don't got the time to do it. I would have did it because like he's cool. I would have did it just to get the experience. But I didn't do it. And I'm like, man, I do regret it because it's like, nah. I wouldn't have called out because I can't regret it. I can't regret it because I wouldn't have called out. I had 2 jobs, but I do. I missed that I didn't get the experience. But yeah, that's life. But for me, it's been difficult in this, like you said it, August 2020, right? August 2020, and then we're fucking quarantined or whatever the fuck, and like I'm not going to the strip. So it's like my opportunities ain't at what's it called? But now you in LA and you still doing clients and stuff. How? Because I noticed when I was taking photos, you know, they're like, oh dang, you speak Spanish. And then next thing you know, they trying to, you know what I mean? That none of that kind of stuff happened where like you taking photos and they be like, well, hey.
To touch your dick? Is that what you said? Oh shit, I've never said that on here. But I'm just saying. Damn. Please, I hope no. Well, we cuss and shit on here.
We do cuss on here, man. It's all good.
All the time.
Facts.
You fucking cuss all the time, huh?
Because we do this shit every week.
Oh yeah.
I've been. I haven't been to LA. I was supposed to go last night. Actually, that didn't work. I was gonna take some night shots, but I cater to where the client is. Like not exactly like, so if they live in Rialto, I'm gonna go like, hey, there's this nice park in Rancho Cucamonga. So part of my scouting is finding out where I can meet if that person lives in Riverside, let's say. So I mean LA, I would love to go to LA, but I don't want to risk it. But because of COVID, you can tap into like areas that would be busy. So you can actually use that to its benefit. So people are going back to work. So I know the freeways are still kind of packed, but I know I'm not going to walk past some guy coughing or something behind me, you know?
Coffee.
So, yeah. So,
sorry.
so right. Yeah. I've had some funny situations. Like I was in San Francisco night shooting, and these three Asian guys were there from like business guys, like talking in Chinese. They're like, oh, you're taking night shots, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. So I did the long exposure. It was about 30 seconds, and then I was waiting, and these guys are like right above me, like just breathing, like talking in Chinese. Like
Just
I'm
like
all,
right
damn,
here.
all up in my personal space.
Yeah.
But that's their culture. So I didn't really say anything. I just thought it was funny. But I'm like, oh,
Fuck
like,
off.
oh, nice,
Back
nice
up,
shot.
back up. Mind your business. That's us. Mind your business.
Yeah.
It's
Want
6
some
feet.
gum?
Yeah.
But that was like a couple years ago. But if that happened today, that'll be mind your business.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at that nervous tick.
Yeah.
Oh my bad. Yeah. No,
Hey,
but
so what's up with your real quick? What's up with your sweater, Tim? Like, what's that all about? There's a lot going on in there.
Oh snap. So if y'all notice Tim likes to support people that got small business. And this came as a result from me and the homie Tommy from Best Buy. He follows this band called The Expanders. And the band Expanders, their first gig they ever had was in Pasadena. The artist named Vince makes this brand called Cali Vibes. And at the time, he was making more shirts that said like support local artists, support local reggae, stuff like that. And he started coming out with the Cali Vibes stuff with, you know what I mean, the old school feel. You can look them up on Instagram. And then like if you ever heard of those, what is the festival called? It's a festival that takes place in Long Beach at the Queen Mary. And I can't think of it right now, but
Cali Roots Reggae Fest. No.
Reggae Fest or Cali, those both sound familiar, but we smoke weed at it. Yeah, whatever that
Reggae
is.
Fest.
There you go.
Where's Reggae on the River?
I just went to that.
North? Reggae on the River?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind.
Hold on, you just went to what?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who, me? I went to Reggae Fest in February, right before the pandemic, like shut everything down.
That's in Long Beach?
It wasn't on. Long Beach, like Queen Mary parking lot, actually. So it's small. There's like 3 stages.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. And like like
it's
stick
3 days.
figures. 3 days. Yeah. And so where the vendors are, Vince is one of them vendors there, and he'll have this shit, and he cleans house doing that shit, man. And Tommy and Steve would go and help him over the weekend and fucking do the shit. And then I come through and then it's like, hey, Tim, get to get in for one day. Yeah. And you know, but like cool. Ever since then, man, I just support, man. Like I like, just like with Chris shit, man. I'm speaking of Chris, you know, achieve greatness. But just like with Chris shit, I like supporting, like, cause this is the thing, man. Like I already said it earlier. Hey, Beyond Aware, shout out to Beyond Aware. You know what I mean? Mass Studios.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Damn.
Thank you. Support small businesses, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Cause that was the thing. I was really gonna buy some beanies, man. I'm going through my existential crisis because I know I gotta shave my head bald now. Cause I think like some of the medicines, antibiotics, or whatever the fuck. Cause when I look at my pop's biological shit, I don't see no bald spot shit that he got. But I know I'm getting the Mr. Belden motherfucking Uncle Phil shit going. The Belden. So I'm gonna have to just. And I'm like, man, I don't want to just be bald with no shit. I'm gonna buy a beanie. And I was like, I don't want to buy a beanie from Target. Target already billionaires, nigga. Let's look at somebody that ain't no billionaires yet.
Yeah. Support your local artists. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I got a shirt that says support your local art gallery. That one sticks out too.
Yeah, I need a new computer. Support me too. Shit. Because my shit just be messing up when I be making beats. So I still haven't uploaded that. What's it called? Oh shit, we have less than a minute. Yeah, I still haven't uploaded. I'll do it today, but we have less than a minute. We're about to shut off in a little bit. We'll take another brief intermission.
Just a brief intermission.
Well, video wise, anyway. But we can still. I mean, well, you know, Tim, you'll be able to talk, but I'll re-add again if y'all need to do anything. Like, hold up, let me. It's about to do it right now. It's a little awkward me keep talking like this, and the shit ain't shut off yet, but.
I talk about that timing. The The timing on that was great. That shit is hilarious. The timing on that shit is hilarious. The timing on that shit is hilarious, dude. The fucking timing. The timing on that shit is hilarious, dude.
And wow. What was it? What do you mean?
You was like, oh man, because like I don't want to say it when I'm waiting for it to cut off. Wait, and then it was like, I was like, oh, the timing on that shit is crazy. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
That's just funny, man. Yeah, dude. Real fucking shit, man. But what was the other question? I had a question I was gonna write it down on the shit.
Well, you gotta ask him the actual question.
Oh, we know we're gonna get there. We know we're gonna get there. But yeah, dude, this is dope, man, because just like how it was with Chris, just how it was with Louis, just how it was with EJ, you know how it is. Like we're an hour and 20 minutes in right now, and you know how it was when we were 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like what you were saying. So it's like, it's dope. It's dope to look. And he even said it. He said, nobody asked me questions like that. He's like, I produce thoughts. I'm like, yeah, because just like how we felt. Nobody asked us producer shit that we was talking about in the DMs. It's like, dude, we know all this shit and we don't got nobody to talk to about it. And then it's like, man, everything's changed since we did.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll wait till he jumps on. I see his name right here, but what was I gonna say? Oh, still waiting for him. Anyway, like how this is a lonely road. Being an artist is a lonely road. Woo. And the only way people can gather for the right reasons, because I've seen people just be out there just trying to just trying to be out there and not be real. You know what I mean? Like they're I don't know how to explain that, but it's a lonely road. And if they say that it's not a lonely road, then they're lying.
They lying. Oh, facts.
They're lying.
100%.
Yeah. Because with what up, Justin? You on that? You all right? Cool. Yeah. No, we're saying that like this artistry thing is a lonely road. You're stuck with your thoughts, and your thoughts will kill you.
Man, if you let
out of you.
Yeah.
Thoughts will beat the shit out of you. It beats the shit out of me every day.
Man,
but
that shit's trash.
I still get up. I'm like, no. I said, no, you stop it. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, without this type of platform is that's why I love to do this. I love to get everybody that's close to me, whoever, because they need to be heard, man. Everybody needs to be heard. Everybody needs to see their art, hear their art, feel their art, if that's what they do.
Yeah, and why can't we all be successful together? Why is it a battle amongst artists? Like, why can't we like look back and like fucking enjoy it and like, hey, I'm gonna go to Vegas and meet up with Tim because he producing and he throwing in some tracks. Like, I want to do that and just fucking, you know.
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, Isaiah out here. We're gonna have Louis out here. Yeah, this fucking table's long enough. I got two basses, one bass and two guitars. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
Where my tambourine and shit at? I don't know. I just put it somewhere.
Play the tambourine.
I got you know what? Getting
tambourine.
You know what I'm saying? And the shaker. I ain't playing.
Like Will Smith.
For real.
This little light of
that's like one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, Carlton, you see.
Yeah. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna go first, and then this little light of mine. Oh man, shout out to the writers who did all that.
Man, fact.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Fact. So just like I was saying before you got back in here,
give me 1 second.
Who do you have? Like ever since me and Ed started doing this shit, like Ed's like my accountability partner when it comes to producing shit, and like we get to call each other out on shit. Who do you have anybody that you can like say, hey, look at these photos, any kind of feedback, like any other fellow photographers?
Yes. In April of last year, Jeff Dohio, shout out to Jeff Dohio. Yeah. He's a professional Muay Thai photographer. He's a professional portraiture photographer, but he's well known in the Muay Thai culture, which is kind of a small circle. He started a mentorship program, uh, which was for free, and he chose 4 different artists to you know dissect. Like, you go to my work and dissect, like, okay, what is it that you want from me? um because he knows a lot. Like, I was just tapping into like all of his. I was a big fan of his work already. So when he did that, he posted something on Instagram, and I dove right into it. Like, hey, my name is Justin Tabije, blah blah blah. I'm a big fan of your work. And so, like, on the first week or so, he's like, "What do you want to focus on?" I'm like, "Well, my branding and my style photography." So I had so it was about 4 to 5 weeks in there, and from there I figured out the my style of edit, um, whether it be like gloomy or like bright and kind of a lot of white balance, or like really in depth, like sweat dropping down your face. Um, he Ever since then, like, we were able to we started a group amongst the mentees, and then we were able to dissect each other's work and complement each other, and fucking yeah. And so, and these people, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a bad photographer, but like, I would consider myself number 4 out of the 4 people, but like, I was in good company nonetheless. But like, from there, like, I read articles, and he'd go in the group chat and be like, hey, what are your thoughts on so and so traveling to the Middle East to photograph this this culture, who they have problems with exposing women, like, physically, and like the hardships that they go through because it's a male driven country, stuff like that. And so I had to, like, dive in. We all had to dive in and be like, why are they doing this? Let's go back to the history. So or he'll go into his own work. Here here you're gonna get criticized for your work. So what Jeff did, he would be and I'm talking about my mentorship program that I did last year. I was talking about, like, man, people, like, really bashed on him. Like, that, I don't know why you consider yourself a portraiture photographer when you got X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. But at the end, he took that as a grain of salt, and like, now he kind of laughs at it because he's the fucking shit. So all things, watch this video, look at these pictures, review these artists. So I was able to discover a lot of artists, and by discovering those artists, I was starting to understand that, man, that's what I'm dealing with. Like, it's not just me. And so, and it's just a snowball effect from there. And so, but before that, I was on my own. Be honest, I got 2 homies, Daniel Vigil and Andy Trujillo, and they're both photographers. Uh, we're kind of on the same boat. I mean, more or less. But I was supposed to meet up with Andy last night, but something happened. But that goes back to the accountability part. He's all, what do you want to shoot? I'm like, honestly, I just want to get out of there, get out, go to LA and shoot. We can scout. We don't even got to shoot. And so, and then my pops, like, that's every time I open the computer, like, that's his work. So I have to, like, what do you call it? I have to think like him. Like, what would he say? And that's deep. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming because I'm not ready for that, you know? Um, but yeah, so I got my pops since day one, my brothers, close friends. I've given Edward some pictures, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this photo? His brother have his brother, Jordan, JP, we call him JP. Uh, he's saved me from, like, shots I didn't quite get. Like, I needed that edit that I couldn't do in Photoshop, that he just like, oh yeah, I got this, boom, 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 and like, you know,
I mean, you
Yeah,
mean
like he,
degrees.
he's all right.
That's
yeah,
He all right.
yeah,
it's that brother shit right here.
yeah, yeah. But to add to that, you, I didn't really, I didn't really wait. I had to go search. I had to go search for that. Like, if I want to take this seriously, I have to go find what I'm looking for, not the other way around. Because not much comes to you like randomly, you know?
that's that's really important, that accountability thing. Like I said in the beginning episodes, like if I didn't have Tim here, honestly, in this last year or so, then I probably wouldn't have been putting out stuff. I probably would have, but not to this extent. Like
Mm.
Yeah.
this podcast has helped with accountability like thousandfold. Because right here
Mm.
we talk about stuff, and I don't want to look like a bitch in front of my homies. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do it.
Yeah.
We
Like
have to do it.
we have to.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
we always say we try to not try. So we always say that we're gonna take out the word try, hopefully, or
Mm.
Any of them
any words that
wishy-washy words that's not
yeah
definite and confident,
yeah
you know?
we try to take those out because if
Yeah.
we do that, then we're just admitting to ourselves that we have a cop out, and we don't want to cop out. We're gonna say we're gonna do it. Bam, it's done. It's in our archives, and we have something to look at. We have some, for everybody to
Hmm.
see, because that's the most important thing is to push stuff out, to put things out. Because like you said, like how you gonna know, how you gonna get these opportunities if they don't even know who you are? They
Mm.
don't even know what style you have. They don't even know,
Hmm.
yeah, anything like that. So it's just like this podcast has saved me in that aspect for sure. So it's good. It's definitely like one of the greatest things to have somebody to keep you accountable. So that's dope that you have those other two photographers to help you out
Yeah. Like,
that way. Anyway.
do you guys have a lot of tracks that are just unfinished,
Oh yeah.
and like, and then and that back to the accountability, like, hey, like, you don't have to come up with something new. Just finish
Mm.
what you did last year. I'm gonna go with yes.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, brother. You can tell
Oh man.
Man, because that's the main thing is like, since we were sitting with hundreds or maybe even thousands of tracks that's just
Ooh.
sitting on a hard drive and not doing nothing, going to the world, yet we pay for a service where we can upload unlimited tracks every year. And
Yeah.
so these tracks could be making us, like, imagine if I still would only have one track. I would still only have $2 in my damn DistroKid account on some real shit, you know? And
Damn.
so the cool thing about the chop section or the cook-up sessions is that most of like when you see a track come out, it ain't like you're gonna hear it for the first time. You heard what it was when we first created it. That was our Ryan Leslie moment. But then you get to see us Dave
Mm.
Pensado and fucking get us in our mix and mastering moment to be like, okay, this is how, like, I love it when people listen to what is it? Summertime Happiness. That's, I think, episode 2 or 3 of the cook up session. If you watch me make that in that 2.5 hours or whatever the fuck, it's nothing like it sounds like right now. It's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's a whole nother situation. And it's like, that's what I like about it. It's the element of surprise. It's like, yeah, you see me create it, but you ain't seen what the finished product is. And now you can finally understand why we're kind of crazy, because we do all these things to get it to be like, for real. Come on, Ed. You trying to say we ain't
Yeah.
crazy to an extent?
I'm crazy, man. I'm crazy. I'm just laughing at
Yeah,
our
I'm crazy
crazy.
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because it's like, man, you got to sit there and be meticulous about it and be intentional on what you want to happen, where you want it to happen, what emotion I want you to feel, where's the vibe, where's the frequency. And it's like, from when I created, like, even so, the latest track I just put out, I think it was episode 7, and I called it D&B Ocean because it was a drum and bass track, and then I called it Ocean. But then when I was going to release it, I was like, let me just take D&B off, man. Like, I could put it as the genre that's going to be D&B.
Yeah.
I don't need to say
You'll know what it
D&B.
is.
Thank you. You know what
Yeah.
it is. So I did that, and I did the cover art and all this shit, and I'm like, man. And then, like, the track don't sound like how it sound when I created it. Like, so you get in two different versions. You get in, dang, this is what he thought when he was doing it just off the random, and then this is what he got when he fucking sat there and took some time with it. And like to notice, like, because another point you said was your first footage. I mean, your first shoot. You said they looked at your Instagram, which means that you already had work on your Instagram that they can use to make their judgment, and they trusted that by seeing that work already. And so, the aspect of like how me and Ed, we post our shit up on Instagram, and it's like that one producer thought, he's like, man, I'm doing these chop sections to let rappers know I make beats, and I make beats for rappers. And it's like, just like you said, how can people know what you do if you don't never show it? Because we was the funny part about all this shit, like on some real shit, is that we're really, if you really think about it, we're really not doing much different than what we were doing. The only difference is we're showing people. Because we were still doing this. We weren't doing it to the level that we were doing it, but that's because we weren't showing people. It was our own little in our headphones and like, oh, I'm not gonna finish it. That's that. Hopefully I'll go back to it. There's so many beats. Hopefully I'll go back to that. I ain't never fucking seen the light of day again.
Yeah,
but sure didn't.
Yeah, because sometimes I get selfish with, like, for that Austin picture, which I consider my favorite shot of the year. Like, I haven't presented it to anyone else because I love it, but I forget that people want to see my work, and so I think that's important. Like, there's got to be times where you got to be a little selfless to like share. What's wrong with sharing? Even like there's work there's a few items I have that I want to post, but I'm like, why am I taking so long? Just do it. Even though it's not like I know how it's gonna end up at the end, but why don't you just do it and fucking revisit it if you want to, or just let it be, which is also a good thing.
Yeah, it's so visually and sonically, there's plugins in our programs and effects that we can do to our work, right? Sometimes putting too much effects on it or cleaning it up, whatever, too much is just too much. It's just that. So sometimes it just has to be raw, and and in like my mind, and I'm sure a lot of artists' minds is if, oh, I got to make sure this is perfect. But yeah, like I said earlier, there ain't nothing going to be perfect. You put out what you put out what you know now, and then like you said, revisit it. And then if there are mistakes or if there's certain things that you didn't like about it, then you learn from those already, and you're like, oh shit, but this is that's last year. This is gonna be this year, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
do you guys remix? I don't know if remix is the right word, but like, do you make another version of a track? Do you guys do that? Like,
hold up, of a track that we made or a track that's in existence already? A
track that you've made, like you're kind of remixing your own, like,
I haven't. You know what? I've done that mid-session, like I didn't like the way it sounded, and then I just redid it, like I did with the same sounds. I've done that, but never revisited back and like, oh shit, let me remix. That's like a ego thing. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, I haven't. I haven't done it, honestly. I've never done that.
Yeah, it could be.
That sounds like a good idea, though.
Yeah, because what was it? It was, I think it's probably like episode 8, 9, 10 or something. I said I was making a beat, and then I took the finished beat and I tried to make it lo-fi, and it didn't come out right. I think it was like from drum and bass to lo-fi, but it didn't work. But yeah, but what we was talking about over last week's shit, or maybe it was yesterday on Sunday when we was doing it, of how using the same sample and then making multiple different beats off of one sample so we can increase the value.
Yeah, that's going to be my next journey. I don't know if you listened to the last one prior, but I'm setting up to where I can actually trying to make 30 beats in a week. So so that's like roughly like 6 beats a day.
Oh, damn.
And I'm gonna have to like plan out the kids where they're at, because like that's why if you see me get up and leave, I'm over here trying to tend to Jocelyn. Like she running around. I got Cheez-Its right here, so I don't know if you've seen me, but I go like this, And I go,
Yeah.
she was eating, but right
Where's
now
she at right now?
she's right here eating a corn dog. But
Like,
yeah, so
where in the house are you?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm on the kitchen table right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So like, yeah. So I keep an eye on her. I didn't want to leave her in the crib or anything. But yeah, stuff like that though. I have to pre-plan stuff so that I know I have the right amount of time throughout the day to make these 6 tracks, to make these 5 tracks
Yeah.
a day. And
yeah, and that's also like I gotta do this without rushing it. Like, yeah, I got one more track, but I gotta put in that time because time you can't take that away, you know?
yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel. Like 6 beats in a day. Like if you had to kind of ballpark how much time that would take in 24 hours, well, how many hours would that be?
Well, what I'm planning to do is at least an hour of each beat.
Mm.
If you look at the chop sections I've done, I usually get the beat done, like sample and like the foundation of it usually gets done about 25 to 30 minutes at least. And then from there, then I could just like, if I stick to a formula that I've been like that I've been using on the chop sections, if I use the formula, then it would be, yeah, it'd be in a shorter amount of time, because there's some producers, they'll say, "Oh, I make like 15 beats a day, 20 beats a day," but they're just like dragging and dropping the, you know what I mean?
Dragging
Like,
the whole drum kit. They drag a
yeah.
whole hi-hat kit.
And and I'm not saying there's anything against that, because that's how the game is today. If you want to come out with stuff like that, with what is it, like volume? Yeah, you said volume, right?
Mm.
Yeah. All right. So with volume, right? If you want the volume of beats, then yeah, I mean, I guess you making money, go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for me, the way I do it, I'm trying to do it differently. I don't want to drag and drop somebody else's drums that made, and then somebody else thing like that. I mean, I might sample. I do sample, but I like doing my own drums. Like I like doing my own bass lines for the most part, and that kind of thing. So I
Yeah,
mean,
like you enjoy the process,
yeah,
and like music as well as photography. Like, man, I'm not gonna hate on how good an iPhone picture can look, but like with all these filters and stuff, like that's cool. I'll use it as a tool rather than bash on it. But like I enjoyed the process of like the manual labor that comes into it. Like, yeah, you got that filter, but like you don't know how to do that. You don't know
Yes.
how it got started. And that's what makes me filter out the negativity. Like, oh, you want to be a photographer? Why don't you just get this iPhone? I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. At least in my eyes.
yeah,
When I got my camera in 2012, somebody was returning their phone. I mean, returning the camera, because they had, there was some people buy shit at Best Buy and use it and then return it, and then you got to act like you don't know what they're doing, So you want to make the situation more awkward than it needs to be. And when they was doing it, I was like, "Oh, so why you return the camera?" And they was like, "Oh, because my phone does everything and all this." And you know how many people like, "Oh, if you really want to be a photographer nowadays, then you need to go more." Like this person just came. I hate when you tell somebody like, "Hey, I'm starting to do this," and then they come with all this Debbie Downer bullshit. I'm like, damn,
yeah.
nigga, you trying to deter me from doing this? Like, what the fuck? Who sent you? I got my I was getting my motorcycle. It was like, oh, there's only 2 kind of riders. You're either gonna go down or you been down. I'm like, damn, nigga, I ain't even got the bike yet. I just got my license. Look, so I'm standing in line.
Bike.
Thank you. Oh, well, yeah, you got one. You got something that's 2 wheels that roll and you be in the
Hell
streets.
yeah.
That's just clean.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Um,
Jocelyn, stop.
But
Oh,
yeah, so
dang,
they,
my bad.
so when he
She'll be
came,
throwing cornbread everywhere. Stop doing that shit. Sorry.
That sounds
Oh,
really
shit. Oh, shit. What's happening? All right. I'll be right back.
yeah.
Hey, send me some of that cornbread though.
I'm saying, right? What you mean cornbread? I thought you was in a corn dog. Nigga. They made cornbread, corn dog. That's what I'm hearing. Crazy. But yeah, so he gonna come to the thing and say, "Oh, if you really want to be a photographer, the cameras are better than the camera phones is doing what the phones do." And I'm like, I was like, man, I took a class over in Rancho. I forgot the teacher's name. I'm like, but I learned so much. Like I learned about batch processing and all that shit, like how to do the exposures, how to basically edit. Like and how to organize. Like you said that earlier, starting off the podcast, and I was like commending you for that because I could look at all these hard drives. Like I probably got like a cool 7, 8, 9 hard drives, and my shit is not nothing compared to what you're talking about. When you said he was like Tabije family, like my shit is year. And then you just got img.crs2 or whatever the raw.
Yeah, you got the default code. Like, what is? Oh, here it is. Yeah, man. It's it can get really messy in a short amount of time too.
Yes, it definitely can. And so that's what deterred me, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like when I first got into the game, I was like, "Ooh, I love shooting," because I got a power shot at first, a Canon power shot, and I was like, "Oh man, but how come I can't make it? I can't make it lighter right here. I can't make it do this." And then like, that camera don't do that. Tim, it's only $300. I'm like, nigga, $300 a lot of money. What you mean? Not in the camera world, Tim. Not in the camera world. So then when I got my T3i, it was like, So then when I took the class, because when I first got the T3i, I was just shooting on auto. But when I took that class, it felt like a boss move when my shit stayed on M, because you know what to do now. Look, you see how he said that? Ooh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, because when you outside, you like, ooh, I should put the ISO at this. Ooh, if I do the f-stop at this, and my shutter speed is gonna be at this, I should get this kind of shot. And then the more you do it when you location scouting, the more you can call it. And then when you call it and it's right and you take it, you're like, oh, nigga, I'm dope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. I have never taken a photography class like a paid session like that. I will at some point, but at the same time, like you can consider like the stuff I look at YouTube and all that.
Thank you.
That's essentially a class. Like, so I'm not.
You don't need to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because I still owe Rancho Cucamonga Chafee. I owe y'all $300. Because I definitely took that class and never paid their ass.
I want my money.
I want my money. Want my money. But things happen, man. I got into man, the motorcycle accident, all kind of shit happened from that time frame, man. Because it was around 2015. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. 2009 or something was my last year.
Yeah, dude. Handles. Did you ever go to Handles Ice Cream on Thursdays with the little $1 scoops?
For Archibald?
It's off of Haven, I think. Yep, down Haven. Yeah. But in the same parking lot where the McDonald's is and shit.
Yeah. I went there like twice.
I was smoking.
I know you said ice cream.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give me a treat, man. Oh. So I think I deserve this today. Yeah. I deserve this. Well, I deserve it. I've been working hard.
For real.
Get some ice cream.
Man, it was dope.
Oh, shit.
That's good.
You remember Big Kev, Ed, from Best Buy? Big Kevin New?
Yeah.
That's what I took the class with. Because we both had got cameras. He had got a 7D at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I had my T3i and we went to the class, and every Tuesday, Thursday we would go there, and Thursdays was the day. So we'd get our class. Like, all right, come on, man, let's go get our ice cream. But you see all kind of Chafee motherfuckers. Yeah, you see everybody from Chafee going right there. But when I look at it in retrospect, like I needed it because I needed the structure, but all the information is available online. Because like using Adobe Bridge to do the batch rename and the fucking let all the shits go through and rename all the shits and organize and then do the ranking process, that was the most thing. Because one of our first major assignments was she made us do 100 by 100 or 10 by 10, some shit like that. It's like you take a 10 by 10 space and you take 100 photos in that 10 by 10 space.
Oh, crazy.
And then you got to pick your top 3 out of all those 100 photos. And then the class is going to pick your top 1. So that was it. And that's what led me on the top 10 California beaches thing. Because then like we had to do like a documentary style photography thing and then like our own personal thing. And so at the end, when I got to show people Venice Beach and Laguna Beach and Malibu Beach, and like you see the differences and feel the differences through the photos on how the beaches are. And but in reality, like the critiques from the 25 people in class of walking around, and it's the art gallery. They print your shit out on a good photo paper and shit, and like they tell you about the DPIs, and you look at your shit, you see everybody else shit, and now it's like science projects all over again. You're like, fuck, I didn't do that. Like, oh. So that aspect is
like,
cool.
In that gallery, like, do people know whose work is whose? Or is it like,
it was like no, it was not really. Like, you kind of knew based off of what was in the photos, but so basically, like, she'll be like, okay, so everybody go put your shit up, and then we'll go put our shit up, and like it'll be 3 photos, boom, 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 and then like we'll all go back to the front of the class, and then we'll all go walk through it. So like when we'll walk through it, like you're gonna know like if your face is in it or some kind of shit. Like Kevin's documentary photos was about when we was playing beer pong and the fucking the cup was on fire kind of shit. So in his shots, it was catching the fire. It was catching like a boxing face in the shit. And that girl, it was like all kind of dope shit. My shit was a poker thing with the boys, and I took pictures of Creole. Because at first I took a whole thing at the poker night, and she was like, this ain't what I was really looking for. I was like, oh, what you mean? I'm like, this is what happened. Basically what happened was we was all playing poker, and I won with a lower hand, and it was against Brandon. And you know Brandon's all in the fucking poker. So he got so upset because I won by accident. I thought I was winning. I was like, yeah, these whatever, 3 of a kind or whatever the fuck. And he like, what? And they like, no, Tim, you got a fucking 4 flush or whatever the fucking flush it is. And I'm like, oh, I do? And then he made him more mad. He's like, well, you don't even know what you was doing. He got so mad. He was salty as fuck. He was salty as fuck. And so when I went back and took the pictures of him, I was like, we called it "It Can Only Happen to Brandon." That was the little documentary, because it's like the most unfortunate things at the most unfortunate times. It's like, dang, it only could happen to Brandon. So then we took some crazy photos, and then like she was like, dang, you did way better this time because you had a theme, the subject matter, and then Brandon was down enough to do this shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to Creole.
So Creole, I remember that cat.
That's crazy. How this shit was all connected.
One thing I remember Edward's wedding, like, and they were all b-boying, and I know some of the cats were. I haven't, like, you guys don't see each other as often, so like it was cool seeing all them just fucking throw down on the dance floor. Even the DJ got in. That Mexican dude is doing windmills. Who was that?
Green. That was dope.
Yeah, I was like,
he's a b-boy before he DJ'd. And he was on one of the top ranking, or the top one of the top crews in IE.
Yeah, like that. That's cool.
Yeah, man, he's dope. I'm lucky to have them guys as homies, because like him and Megaton, Johnny, them guys are dope. But
yeah, so Tim, I photographed. I brought my camera to Edward and Sinead's wedding, so I was able to photograph them in their natural element, which was cool because that's how I know them. And that's what I try to do. Like, if you look into my last 2 months, I want to document like how they are outside of how people know them. So Edward, remember, you guys mentioned Drew the One who owned the Machine Pomona. So he's an inspector. He does inspections, and he goes out and drives and inspects the soil to make sure it gets approved before like any cement or any foundation gets started. And so I documented him doing that because everyone like he's well known as an artist, like as a poet. So I'm like, I can do that. I have a lot of information, but I know him back like when we used to work at Yard House, like in Rancho Cucamonga, like 12 years ago. And so that was my natural element to express how I'm cool with him. You know what I mean? So with Edward and Sinead, like when they were b-boying, I'm like, I remember going to his house and like them b-boying in the garage.
Yes, on the linoleum and everything.
Yeah. So like that's how I try to separate myself from as an artist. Like, and to be honest, it becomes easier. Like, I'm not trying to like force it, you know. So, and that gives me confidence too. Like, people are actually reading. Like, there's articles where I'm like writing a report. I'm like, I suck at writing, and here I am describing this picture, and people are like enjoying it. Like, people read still. So it's kind of, I love that, because I'm gonna do it whether someone reads it or not, because that's just how it is.
Preach, brother. Because the thing I trip off of, like two of the things you said probably before the last break, it was like 20 minutes ago. You said, why were you thinking so much about putting it out? You should just put it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just put out this album over 9 weeks. The final track came out on Christmas called Dark Days, right?
Uh-huh.
And the album has been finished since October 2019. The album was finished October 2019. And I was sitting on my hands on the album for a whole year because I was like, oh, I need to go back and finish it. I need to go back and do this. I need to go back. And the thing I realized is that I can't just release this as one, just, hey, this is a 9-track album. Here you go. Nobody's really going to listen, blah, blah, blah. I got to put the whole purpose behind it. I got to be real with myself and be real with everybody that I wasn't being real with. And whether y'all read it, watch it, hear it or not, I'm finna talk about some deep ass shit. And I was scared to talk about it, but I know that I had to talk about it because I know if it only helps one person, if only one person watch one video on Instagram or YouTube and decide not to make a stupid decision like I was thinking, I did my job. Because people need to hear more of who made it through, you know? People need to hear more like, oh, I ain't finna just front, act like I'm all strong and shit, and like, oh, I'm perfect, and I've been through all this shit, and I always bounce back. Nah, nigga, it's been a point where Tim was like, I can't deal with this pain all day, dog. Yeah. Like, even how the pain came back over the past couple of days, and I'm wearing the towel again, and like, I started feeling like, oh shit, this fucking pain. And I'm like, nah, go back to the ice. I'm like, I got remedies now, but back when I used to feel it all the time, it was like, nigga, I didn't know what the fuck to do. And so to talk about depression, to talk about suicidal thoughts, to talk about fucking the impact that you have, the impact that you don't think you have, to talk about your insecurities, to talk about all that shit over 9 weeks, it kind of, you know, it was for me to rehash, because when you said 2015, 2016, that's when I was going through it. I got hurt 11, 13, 14 was when I got in the car accident and fucked my neck up. And then disability, 73 chiropractic treatments, all kind of bullshit ever since, you know?
Yeah. And I'm in that right now.
See what I'm saying? And when I got into my motorcycle accident in 2009, the difference is that I had a girlfriend at the time. I was with her for 2009. I ended up being with her for like 7 years. And 7 years was 2012. So 2005. So 4 years in the game, then I get into this accident and I had her. Like, it was weird because I had her. She was supportive. She'd take me to fucking all my little appointments and do the little off leave orders and shit. She even had to like give me a bath one time. That was the one like where you feel like the most non-man at all, like on some real shit. Yeah. Because you can't take care of yourself. And she was there. Like, it was dope. But eventually, in that relationship, she started getting very frustrated because she know what it used to be. And like, I understand she was younger, like she's older than me, but we were both younger at the time and we weren't prepared for it. And so eventually, and even at that time when I really think about it, it just showed that she wasn't the one for me because she started getting frustrated. It was a time where like, I hit her up and I'm like, hey, I need to like go to Kaiser and like fill out the awkward order again and fax the shit. And then she's like giving me attitude. And I'm like, dang, nigga, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you acting like I can go do this myself. It'll be different. I wouldn't be asking you to do this kind of shit if I can go do it myself. And why does it feel like I'm having a burden asking my girl to do this shit? And so when this latest accident happened, I didn't have no outlet. I didn't have no, oh, let's have the pillow talk and you, baby, it's gonna be all right, and then you get the fuck and all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. Hey, that shit part of it. And so even when you fucking hurt,
He said, "Oh,
Man.
it hurts so good."
I know. Keep
No,
going.
keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, exactly.
Keep
No,
going.
it's okay. Go ahead.
Man. But going through this one, I had to become stronger because I didn't have that safety net. And so I'm like, okay, if I can get through this, I can tell other motherfuckers that, hey, I got through it. And motherfuckers reached out. I could tell which motherfuckers like looked at the shit because they started caring for me all out of nowhere. Like when you do your artist shit, and I'm gonna ask you, when you do your photography shit, do people go through and just like, was your family and friends just very readily? We'll wait for the 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh damn. So since it's a little
just end it and come back.
Can we do that? Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Oh, there you go.
We'll be right back with a message from our sponsors. This is sponsored by Homies Helping Homies. Let's go. That's way faster. Boom. Let's go. Let's go. Way faster. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Here we go.
And we back.
And we're back.
Waiting on Justin now. Hurry your ass up. No, I'm just playing. Let's see.
We're back with a word from our sponsors.
Do you ever feel sad and itchy? Oh, there you go.
And itchy?
And itchy, yeah. You know,
no.
It's a cream for that. It's called Wash Your Ass.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass. Comes in 3 flavors.
Oh shit! Wash your ass.
Man, you know what I want to do? I always want to do a skit like show. I don't know if you ever down to do something like that, man.
Like fucking crank yakers.
Not well, like a
whose line is it anyway?
Like a sketch comedy thing.
Like what's my
like
nigga's
A Living
name?
Color or like Chappelle or like
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele, like that. Yeah, I always wanted to do something like that. But Whose Line is funny too. Should do that. Just a bunch of like flip a improv show. Like that'd be sick. Yeah. You can even do it right here.
Especially because Who Line had music. We could definitely create the beat and freestyle and make it like Whose Line and just give different subject matters. We should put some research and development towards that. Because we can have it like, you know how it was Wayne Brady and all these foods, like 6 foods. We can have like 6 foods. You know what I mean?
Right. Heck yeah, we can. That should be funny too. You can just stream that. Just stream it, like because it's all improv, so we don't even got to record.
That's true. I know, and then have random people come through. That'd be dope.
Yeah, heck yeah, it'd be dope.
Yo, why did you say his last name like his? Why did you say y'all last name like that? I was like, I ain't never heard it like that.
Tabije?
Yeah, is it supposed to be translated like Spanish pronunciation?
I mean, I guess technically it is Spanish, right?
Yeah, man, fuck conquistadors and
fuck
fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
fuck them niggas. Like, I mean, what you gotta say? What was the word I used? Fucking.
I don't know.
I forgot. It was, but you say your pops used that word too. Maybe chingao, I think I said.
Oh yeah.
Chingao.
That's
the first thing I heard.
Chingao.
But that's funny because unless you're a Latino, and now I'm learning, unless you're Filipino, you don't really know what that word means.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay? I put on some like manual headphones.
Yeah, I saw that you had that. I was like, switch up that accessories.
Yeah, because those AirPods don't last long enough for this conversation.
I used to be so against AirPods before. I don't know if I want them though. I used to be like, man, this looks stupid. What the hell is that in their ear, hanging off the dang thing like that? I used to get mad at people looking all freaking, looking all
shit.
Yeah, what are you doing with that? Looking like a freaking men's in blacks.
Men's in blacks. Men's in blacks.
Hey, it used to be the Bluetooth.
Yeah,
right
big
here.
ass Bluetooth looking like Star Trek. Check my scout.
Oh, my bad. What were you saying, Tim? My bad, dude. AirPods. Go ahead.
I definitely don't remember what the fuck I was saying. Oh no, I got it. When you started doing your photography, was your friends and family quick to jump on board with like supporting you, giving you the big ups, like rooting you on and shit like that?
Then like from the beginning, uh, they didn't understand what it felt, how I felt, because I didn't express it.
Ooh.
Like, because they supported me, like, oh, your dad's a photographer, like you got the right setup, but is it just a hobby or is it like your passion? And I go back and forth with this. Like, I ask myself that often, not in a bad way, but uh, it is my passion, and it took some digging to realize that. So to answer your question, yes, they were supportive, but they didn't know what levels it was going to take me in, where I'm at right now. They just thought like, oh, well, you still need to find a job, but I'm happy that you're doing this photography stuff, and that's fine because I was still trying to figure it out. I mean, like, because I would do it nonetheless. Um, and then uh, and then once I want to say convince myself, once I figured out like it's always been there, photography, like whether I take a 2 month break or whatever the fuck, that like I'm still like excited about it. Now I took that as a big sign, because you look at people who have never even discovered that about themselves, and they're like in their 40s stuck in a job. This shit's real. Like you don't realize it until it's too late for some people. And for us in our generation, we should be so lucky to even soul search like that. So once like I I promised myself to whatever I do with it, like especially for the people that are paying me for it, like even if I don't want to do this shoot, they're paying for they're paying it. I'm still gonna give them the same customer service as I did with this one that paid me triple. Um, and you know what? Or even the one that does it for free, that I'll do for free, because I love doing things for free, to be honest. Um, but after realizing all those, I just kind of I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought. I just I went at my own pace, figured it out along the way, and that's it. And I'm like happy. Like I'm happy because back to Judah one, like when we're having that, like we drove to he had to go inspect down by like close to San Diego, so we had about an hour car ride, and I haven't seen him in a long time, and we we dove into talking about being an artist, and I'm all, you know what, I'm a motherfucking artist, and that was dope, because like people say that they're an artist, but they're not putting in the work. You might have a good quality picture and a good track at that time, but like it's not, everyone's at their own pace. And so I don't know, like it was hard. It was hard for me.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You don't Sometimes you don't want to admit what you are. Does that make sense?
That last part did. It broke up for a little bit, but I heard that last part.
So there's this
Like,
movie on damn, what's that called? What's that movie with Matt Damon? Rounders. You guys seen that?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Rounders is a poker movie where he's a struggling poker player, but he wants to become a professional. And so like it's the same thing. Like you want to be a poker player, like you got blah blah blah, like you're gonna risk your job. And there's a part at the end where he's talking to his professor. So he basically dropped out of law school, and then the professor, or he's all, the guy, uh, the player got in some shit, and he owed money. He talked to the professor who he dropped out from, He's like, I need like $8,000. And the professor was like, hey, I I'm Jewish. I used to my parents disowned me because I told them because I didn't want to be in the medical field, right? Um, and here I am as a professor being successful in law, blah blah blah. And he's like, and then he ended with, "You don't choose your destiny chooses you." And even though it was a movie, I was like, "That's the
Damn.
fucking truth." Because because in some ways I thought I was gonna have my own path, and photography was just gonna be there to carry me along the way, but I didn't know that it was gonna be me.
Mm.
Like, and so like when you put that in perspective, I'm like, fuck, dude. And and then when I put that into photography and then I put that into the music, like it makes you feel a certain type of way. More than someone who makes a bomb ass playlist. Anyone can do that. But like you guys are putting in the work in the actual detail, not some fucking like what you're saying, Edward, with the like dragon play. Like anyone can
Yeah.
do that and call themselves an artist, but like you ain't really an artist.
It's kind of hard to say that because I mean they're artists, but in a different light. So I mean I'll give them some credit, you know. But
Yeah,
to create something
I
from
agree.
scratch is a different thing. It's a
Yes.
whole different feeling. It's a different yeah. You know the art is the art is in the details. That's how I feel. So like
Yes.
you're saying, the
Yeah.
journey, all that, it's all detailed. Um,
And
y-
yeah, and that's important to me. Like
yeah.
the journey is important to me. And that's why I feel like what I'm telling you guys is different from the next person. And it's good to like express expression. Like I I have never done something like this. So to be like speaking with you guys, I like one of my
I wouldn't
I wouldn't-
tell.
yeah, one of my
Yeah, I
resolutions.
can tell.
I don't even want to call it resolution, but like my next my next out of the bubble thing is speaking in public. So I've been more active on social media, even though like people like to hear what I read, or even
Read
though
what you
people like
write.
to read what I write. Like I did, you know, I did like a 5 second post, like, "Hey, have a good day. I love you. Be good." Like, how hard was that? It was hard for me. Isn't that weird? How it works
No,
out like
No,
that?
not at all.
not
It's not
weird at
hard at
all.
all. I mean,
That's
not hard, not
crazy.
weird, not weird. It's
And
not
I'm proud that you did it. That's courage.
Yeah, yeah. So to Tim to ask or to answer to add to what you were saying, like just takes out one person sometimes. Maybe it's a bunch of people, but for certain things, it's just one person. Um, one of my old friends, she's like, I was smiling ear to ear when I saw that, like sending positive vibes your way. I love you. I miss you. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about too. You know, sending the positive vibes your way, man. You better
Yeah.
open arms, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Mhm.
Tim, man, this quarantine done changed you, bro. You said, "Oh, I'll take anything I can, please." Just
I ain't taking anything, but like, hey, cause real shit, man. Like, I am still a nigga from LA, and I know motherfuckers in LA, and I definitely could get some anythings if I want some anything. But I'm at it.
Preach.
See, look, you feel what I'm saying? Come on, for
some
real,
anythings. Oh, that's
man.
funny.
Anything's is always on deck, like, cause the anything's is quarantine too. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's good
But
to have that in your pocket too, or just
yeah,
to know
it's
that,
you
like,
know, hey, it's a
should
convenience,
I?
you know. But ever
Shit.
since, like, dude, man, I'm telling you, if you spend all 2020 thinking that, oh shit, am I about to die of these kidneys? Oh shit, I'm about to die of these kidneys, and then you got like a homegirl, her dad, like, you know what I mean? Dialysis, all this shit. So like,
Yeah.
you try not to walk in fear, and it's like, man, I'm real, like, nigga. I was expecting to be with the damn girl I was with for 7 years. I was expecting to have 8 kids with her. I was expecting, like, you know what I'm saying? And
Damn,
so,
8 kids.
man, I wanted 30 back in those days too, which was
Mm.
crazier. But when I
30,
hit,
like for real, 30.
like for real 30, because you know what I really
With
wanted?
one girl?
One girl. This is how crazy I
Ouch.
am. But when I say it out loud, I just know, like, because if I could psychoanalyze other people, I psychoanalyze myself. And it's like this. It's all based off of my lack of security and my own insecurities, right? In the aspect of All right, boom. Didn't grow up with no pops, right? Grew up with my my older brother, and two younger sisters. My pops basically disowned in a sense. I ended up reconnecting with my older sister, which is 10 years older than me, when
Wow.
she was 43 and I was 33 or some shit, right? So 2 years ago.
Oh,
Wow.
And so moving all throughout life, like being around my step pops who ended up going to jail, and being around that part of the family, feeling like the black sheep because when you go around family and you feel a vibe. I've always been good about vibes, and you'll feel a vibe where it's like
To read the
motherfuckers
room.
is you read the room, you feel the energy of like, and motherfuckers are like, because certain people and certain family members that don't feel like that, they don't feel like that because the energy ain't. But there's other family members that are family members and they like, yeah, but that's the nigga that's born by the other dad. Like that nigga really ain't connected. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get that energy, you get that feeling. And so, but when you feel that so much and you don't talk to your mama about it because your mama's stressed out, working, trying to take care of 4 kids, who are you talking to about this shit? Nobody. So then you put this little thing in yourself that said, nigga, when I get older, I'm gonna have a family that's gonna be my family, and it's gonna be a big family because it's my family, and nobody gonna say, "Oh, he a black sheep," or "He don't really belong," or nothing like that because it's my family. And then so when I was with old girl, I'm like, nigga, I want 30 kids. Like, nigga, I want to be able to get on a school bus, custom, West Coast Customs, hooked up, and let's go take the fucking kids to school, nigga. And they were like, that's your daddy. Yeah, nigga, we roll up, we bumping. All the kids get out, nigga, we make them do homework. Like, we the coach. But then, like, I did the research. It's like, yeah, they start having problems. They could die. And I'm like, fuck. So then when the research said, like, 8 kids is comfortable to where they could still, like, be. Because my granny, hold up, not my great granny, my granny's mama had 16 kids, Texas.
Oh, I've never heard that many.
Yeah,
Man,
16.
That's crazy.
And then my grandma on my biological dad's side, 16 kids. Another one.
Whoa.
No dad in the motherfucking house. It was crazy 2 years ago when I met my sister to hear all the history from the other side of the family that I didn't know. So my grandmama, my dad's mama, 16 kids, like one girl. One girl, Aunt Vicky. The rest are boys, and these fools ran amok in Pasadena. And they're crazy. And then in Texas, like my mama's grandma, 16 kids. And so that built up a whole nother thing because she only had 3 with the first husband and then the rest with the other. So that built up an insecurity and division and all this. And so as you see, when I see the separation and how much it impacts, I was just like, oh, give me some unity, baby, And so that's why I don't have kids right now. And it's like, I could go fuck with anything, but that ain't what I want. I want the longevity. I don't want to have baby mamas because on both sides of the family, I see what it looks like. When I look at my siblings, my 2 siblings that got kids, they both got kids with motherfuckers that they wish they didn't have them with. And I know that would have been me if I would have had it with old girl. So it was funny because when I got the commercial, I made the money to buy a house, and then I was going to buy a house with her, and then she was tripping, and I didn't do it. And I'm glad I didn't because then I would have a baby. She would be my baby mama right now. And I rather wait, man. And that's why I was loving going to the photography conventions. This is the thing with old girl. She liked me because I was all quiet and went to BBC and all that shit. And I was just quiet ass Tim and shit. But then as I started coming into my own, I started just being who I am now, which is like, man, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to have a good time. And she's like, no, motherfucker, I want you out to myself. You can't have friends. You can't go out to Micro House. You can't kick it with Brandon and Ray and all them. You kick it with me 24/7, all 7s, no 11s. And I'm like, damn, nigga. So when I started doing the acting shit, she hated. When I got the commercial, I'm on the phone with her telling like, babe, I got the commercial and all this shit. And she goes, y'all quiet? And I'm like, did you hear what I said? Like, I'm in it. Like, and she's like, I'm like, what's up? Oh, that's good. And I'm,
damn, like right away.
What? No, I didn't know that. That's terrible.
Yeah, dude, 2009. I'm like, huh? Which? And she's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, I called you. You're the first person I called because I wanted to celebrate this win with you. She said, I'm like, well, why does it feel like you hating on me? That's the energy I'm feeling. And she got quiet for a second. And I'm like, hello? Now's the thing, like, when you're a Gemini, you fucking talk fast. Yeah, you like, damn, it's like, I speak as fast as I think. But she was a Virgo, man. She took Earth, you know what I mean? She took her time to like formulate because she's trying to cater her words to not make me mad, but still try to express herself. Which I was like, fuck that. Just be raw. Tell me what the fuck. And she was like, because all these things are happening for you and nothing's happening for me. And I was like, I'm on the phone like, what? That's how you feel? I'm like, hold on. I'm like, when you got the job and you got the promotion, I was happy for you. When we went and got you your car, I was like, if we talking about being together for real, every win that you got is a win for us. And if you telling me that you down to do these 8 kids, because she was 1 of 7, so but her thing was she's 1 of 7, and her mama was a stay-at-home mom. So I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to take care of no 8 kids just being a full-time computer salesperson at fucking Best Buy. I'm like, so I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do to fucking move up. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I'm gonna have to stay later, come in earlier. I'm gonna have to do extra projects and shit it's gonna cut into our time. Like, but this is for the ultimate mission. And this is what I used to tell her all the time. I was like, dude, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Because every time we get into fights, she's like, oh, we should just break up. And I'm like, if you want to do that, then whatever. But I'm in it for the long haul. If you down for the long haul, then this is what it is. Because this shit is a marathon, not a sprint. Quit expecting shit to just be like this. And so
you can't have the whole cake.
Man. She said, so when I fucking started going and doing the shit to move up on the night where, remember Tarek, Ed?
Tarek, yeah. Tarek, big Tarek.
Yep.
Big Tarek,
Big Tarek. So,
football Tarek.
During that time frame, and I guess she was coming into her own too, but like she was dealing with some depression that she really wasn't telling me about. Because she had moved from her parents' crib in Victorville to Irvine, and now she's staying at the crib by herself. And that's the reason why she wanted me to occupy all that time. And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, dude, if you're 100% of somebody's entertainment, that's too much responsibility for you to hold. Because I can speak from experience. You can never hold that. Like, I'm Tim, and that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of motherfuckers, and a lot of motherfuckers need Tim's love so I can help good vibe niggas. And when you got one person that's like, nah, nigga, I'm like, now you feeling all restricted, your freedom's taken. And so, but she was dealing with the depression that I really couldn't see because I was so focused on trying to move up, you know? And so on this one morning, I'm about to get ready to go to work. And she was tripping. She was tripping out of nowhere, tripping. She was like, I just don't care. And I should just kill myself. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Nigga, she went over to I'm sitting on the bed. She went and this is like a studio apartment. So like, this ain't much. This is like TV's right here, kitchen's right there, door right there, bathroom. And so I'm on the bed and she like gets up and rushes over to the couch, to the drawers where the kitchen is. And she pulls out this big ass knife and starts to, and I fucking go and tug her ass. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, I take the fucking knife out of her hand and all this shit. And she's like, oh, so I'm sitting there, dude. And now, mind you, this is Irvine. I work in Victorville. I gotta go to work, my nigga. And so I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, so I sit there another 20 minutes and I'm like, dude, like, you know what is going on? Boom. So I'm like, all right, well, I fucking gotta go to work. Like, what the fuck? Like, do we gotta call somebody? Do we gotta do this? Like, this is random as fuck. So, man, this shit is a trip to think back on it. I ain't never really said this shit to motherfuckers. Producer Thoughts exclusive. Fuck, nigga. But yeah, I fucking went to work. She talked to me. I talked to her throughout the day. And then later at night, Tarek's like, hey, Tim, come to my house, man. We're going to have a game and all this, blah, blah, or a boxing match. It was some kind of event like that. But this was the time frame where I knew that now I'm starting to be a part of the inner circle and motherfuckers is like, hey, let's groom Tim for the supervisor shit. I did all the shit. I did the shit. And so that night, I get invited to the shit. I go to the shit and like, boom, everybody else there is supervisors. And now Tim's here. And now I'm like, fuck, nigga, I'm at the... And so then Tarek was like, boom, later, niggas drinking food, all this. And then later in the night, he goes like, all right, man, so these are the moves that's about to make in the store. Ben's already saying this, Upu's saying this. And Tim would think you're ready. And I'm like, right? Right? Because I've been doing all the shit. And now I'm at the place where I was supposed to be to do the shit I said I was going to do. And they like, dude, so Steve's going to get promoted to what's it called? And then we're going to promote you to what's it called? And when all the shit goes down, I'm like, man, don't say shit. And I'm like, all right. So while this is happening, I get a phone call, boom, boom. Oh, girl. Hey, what's up? Bob, man, I told you I was gonna be a thing. Are there women there? No, dude, it's all dudes. This is a dude thing. Remember I told you, rubbing hands, kissing babies' elbows, or whatever the fuck you call it. I'm like, Matt's here, Jesse's here. You remember Jesse from Home Theater Jesse? I'm like, I'm actually cool with these niggas, but now these niggas are supervisors, so boom, boom. And then she does it fucking again, homie. I'm just gonna kill myself. And now I'm in Ukaipa. I'm like, I'm outside. And I think Brandon comes outside or Justin comes outside. And they're like, Tim, what the fuck's up, man? Because I'm crying like a motherfucker now. I'm like, dude, she fucking talking about she good stuff. She fucking grabbed a knife this morning. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if it's some attention shit, but like, I don't know what the fuck to do. There's her parents. I'm like, in fucking Victorville, Hesperia. Who the fuck is closest to her? I'm like, nobody. So I'm finna drive down there, man. I fucking left from Ukaipa, drove to Irvine. I called fucking police while I was doing it. I'm like, hey man, like my girl's talking about she gonna kill herself. I'm 2.5 hours away from here. Like her parents live, they probably 3 hours away. Like, and I just don't want nothing to happen. So fucking call the police. I call her mama, and like we had kind of beef. Like at that point, it was beef to where with the dad. The mama was always cool with me, but the dad, you know, machismo, macho Mexican man. So when I called, the brother answered the phone. I was cool with the brother. I'm like, hey man, like, where's your mama at? What happened? I'm like, sister, she's saying this. Boom. Oh, why is she saying? I'm like, dude, I don't know. This is what happened this morning. And I called the police because I know they're going to be able to get there faster than me. Coming from Ukaipa, Irvine police is going to get to an Irvine apartment before Tim coming from Ukaipa. So fucking they get off the phone like, all right, well, we're heading down. So boom, they leave. I'm driving. I'm tripping. I'm calling her. She not answering the phone no more. I'm just tripping, homie. So when I fucking get down there, like she fucking answers the phone and she's like, why did you call them on me? Huh? You called them? And I'm like, yeah, I did. You said what you said. I figured these fools ain't gonna get here before, they're gonna get here before me. Like, what the, like,
I would have done the same thing.
come on. And so she was so pissed off, man. So when I go, the interrogator dude or the negotiator, they send a negotiator dude to like talk her down off the ledge in a sense. And he's like, man, like, she's really upset. She tell you like why? Cause like she did the shit this morning and now we're here. And I'm like, I don't know what. Well, and the problem really boiled down to she was so conflicted because, you know, there's a Latina woman still trying to figure out life in her own apartment. And her one source of full entertainment is not available like it was before. And now this paradigm shift is a fucking tragic thing because now she ain't got her family to fall back on. And she had a new job. It was like everything was just new and just so much change. And the main thing was that since and I told her not to do it, I was like, when you go to your parents about the shit we're fighting about, and then you get over it in the fucking week and then we're back together, they never forgot what the fuck you told them. And so I don't think it's wise to tell them our problems because I don't tell my mama because my mama would hate you if I told my mama everything that you did. And I feel that's respect for the relationship. And so she didn't stop that. And at one point, the pops was like, I don't want to hear nothing else about Timothy. If you say his name, I don't want to hear his name in his house, nothing like, you know? And so now she's conflicted, like, fuck, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I love this dude. I'm in love with this dude. He took my motherfucking cherry. We both took our own cherry. And fucking laugh it out, nigga. I know.
No, well, because you said cherries. And it's just
I know.
so you
I ain't no cherry, but you know what I'm saying.
you said
We both fucking
cherry,
hymen broke the hymen. But yeah, dude, fucking the thing was how can she not love the dude she's in love with, and how could she still be with her family? And that's that crossroads. It's like even if you talk to Benson's mom, Benson about his mom with that shit, about if you're a different race and you're getting with a black dude, you're gonna have to deal with that. A lot of people in your family may not fuck with black people. and they gonna either try to disown you, look at you different, and all that. Now it was different on the other end because my mom was like, Timothy, I've always told you, no matter what color the girl came here, like as long as you love her and I could tell that she loves you, then I'm all for it because I feel love has no color. That's from my mom's standpoint. When I went over it around that pops, and that's the thing. I did it once. I tried to go around. I knew he was racist. This is the thing. When you deal with racism all your life, you don't want to be around motherfuckers that's racist. Who wants to do that? You've been around it all your life. So why would I choose to go be around some bad energy? So, but I just want them to get to know you because if they get to know you, they know how cool you and good you are and all this, and they won't look at you like you're just some black guy. And I'm like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to take this dude. This dude was so racist. He said he thought the color of our feet was black all the way around. That's how racist this dude. He's like, I didn't even know it was like that pinker side on the bottom. That's how racist this dude was.
Yeah.
And so the time I went to the dinner with them, yeah, all kind of weird shit. So the time I went to the dinner with them at their house to try to be cordial and be like, hey, I'm just like, I've been with shit. I've been with her like 5 years at this time. I ain't going nowhere. And so I'm there. The mama see me because she worked at that Farmer Boys right there. The mama's the manager and shit. So like she was always cool. She was like, she seen me. She was like quaint. Like she knew. I even went to her one time like to try to figure out shit about her when she was younger and what she liked to try to buy her different presents to try to change her vibe. I did extra shit. I wonder if her mom ever told her that. I definitely did that behind her back. But when I was at the dinner, the mom was cool. Like all 6 of the siblings were cool. And the dad was sitting there just pissed off. And like, he tried to do the, be cordial in front of everybody shit, but you knew what it was. But the grandparents were there. Now, talk about this weird ass dynamic. And I'm sorry that this is all turning about me. I don't even know how we got here, but I got to express it because it's fucking coming out, I guess.
Oh, good, man.
While I'm sitting there, I'm still being me. I'm trying to be like, well, fuck that. So I'm talking to the grandpops. The grandpops does truck driving. My brother was truck driving at the time. So once again, there's that rapport. Dang, nigga, already 40 minutes? What the fuck is that? Shit. So building rapport with the grandpops. The grandma only spoke Spanish.
Ooh.
My girl don't speak Spanish.
Ooh.
So while I'm at the dinner, I'm talking to the dad. The dad this is her mom's grandparents. The dad didn't like the dad. So when the dad's seeing me being all chummy with the grandpa, he's like, fuck this old black motherfucker. He didn't do me like that when I was trying to get at, like, you know what I mean? He wasn't all nice to me and shit. You could feel that energy. And I'm like, fuck. And then I got another dynamic of energy because now I'm talking to the abuelita. And like, it was like, oh yeah, she only speaks Spanish. I'm like, oh yeah, todo bien. And she just went, right? And now I'm all chopping it up with her and now trip off this dynamic. I'm talking to the grandma. The grandma's looking like, oh my God, you got you a good one, mija, right? And the mom was like, oh my God. She's watching her own mom interact. And she's like, oh. And my girl is so conflicted between 2 frequencies. She's like, fuck, that's so dope. He can talk to my grandma. But at the same time, she was like, fuck, so fucked up. I can't talk to my grandma. And that feeling of I'm connecting with her grandma on the Spanish level and she can't, and that insecurity of not knowing Spanish. But the reason why they don't know Spanish is because when the mama came out here, she got teased because she was from Mexico and they didn't know English. And so she didn't want her kids to feel that pain and didn't teach them. And so it was just so fucking weird because the dad's hating on me because he don't like black people. Then he's hating on me because the grandpa likes me. The mom is liking me and the grandma likes me. And my girl is halfway liking and don't know how to feel because of the dad energy. And like, fuck, you could see it in her face. Like, he's really, cause I'm me. It got to a point where I was over there just chopping it up. The dad was over somewhere else and it was just me and the grandma chopping it up. And she's just looking at me like, dang, nigga. I ain't never talked to my grandmama like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how long you're talking to her and you're still doing the same thing. Like what you talk about in that show. She's laughing and like, I'm me, you know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck, like I didn't notice until I left. I'm like, dang, this shit, like it was hindsight. And so I told her, I was like, dude, I can't do that shit no more. She's like, what? I'm like, I don't like trying to go around people. I'm not the kind of person that I have to go around people and try to prove that I'm a good person. I'm already a good person. And if you already got in your mind that you feel that I'm gonna be a bad person, I'm not gonna kiss your ass to try to show you that I'm a good person. I'd rather just not. And that's where the whole rift, and that's where when the negotiator was sitting there, he was like, well, she wants you to talk to the parents and all this, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. So he was like, so she wants you to stay when the parents and everybody gets here. And I was like, I can't do that. He's like, huh? That's why I had to tell that backstory. So why this makes sense on shit. So he's like, yeah, they're almost here, and she wants you to stay when they get here. And I was like, I know that's a request, man, but we got to look out for everybody in the situation. I'm like, some real shit. This shit ain't about me. This ain't even about our relationship. This shit is about her life and her well-being. This is about her staying alive. I'm like, we can handle that shit on another time. Because the thing is this. When they come to the house, when they come here, like you're here for her, right? I'm here for her, right? And when the whole family comes in, they're going to be here for her. But I'm a sore thumb, you know? And so who's gonna be here for me? Tim is gonna be here in a room for everybody versus Tim, nigga. Because I'm gonna be represented as this problem. Oh, she's trying to kill herself because of you. Like, think about this whole dynamic, my nigga. Like, she wouldn't be going through this if everybody would just be happy because she ain't gotta be with no black guy and nobody, no conflict and no, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, this ain't the time for it, you know? And she got mad because I'm like,
then you can't win.
I can't win. What am I supposed to do? If I stay here, everybody's gonna be like, well, you're the fucking reason. If I leave, well, I'm the reason regardless. But nobody got my back. I'm the only person that got my own back here.
Right, and it might be a dangerous situation too, because the pops
coming down. Come on, you don't know how people gonna fly off the handle. Thank you. You do not know that. I thought, once again, growing up in Inglewood, you think safety, survival shit first, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, dude. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to harm nobody, but I don't know how people gonna react when they think that the daughter was trying to harm somebody and I'm supposedly or possibly a representation of what. And so, man, that shit was hard as fuck, man. The shit we rocked with what we ended up working more shit out. 2 weeks later, we tried to do it more. Fucking when I moved to the crib with Brandon and them, and then like the trust issues was just too much because I wasn't gonna be able to be myself. And like back in those days, I don't know how many minutes it said, but like she didn't want me to go to raves. She didn't want me to go to raves. I was like, yeah, because I was in Carfi, I think, at another time. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a rave. I was like, I want you to come with me, but I know you don't really fuck with the music, but I'm just letting you know I'm going to go because I'm too intrigued by it. You just want to go because of the drugs and women, and I'm like, I said I want you to come with me. Like, how much sense does that make? Like, I love music. We connected on music. Like, And so she didn't really want to let me be me. And when I fucking got out of a relationship, that's what you see today. I fucking just went full board. I went back into the music shit. I went to the festivals. Got
to do all the things that you wanted to do, but without the baggage, you know what I'm saying?
It was baggage.
Damn, that's crazy because like with us, Edward can kind of speak on this too. Well, he can if he wants, but we don't speak Tagalog for the same reasons. That's our parents. That's their backstory. But little did they know that it would, I would say, backfire because like there's like a little separation going in. So like when we go to the Philippines, you can. Luckily, they speak a lot of English, but like the different dialect, like going down to the province where all they speak is like Ilocano over there. It's tough. So I mean, I get that. And then with my cousin, she dated. She's Filipino and she was dating Mexican, and so so like her parents, my auntie didn't like they were arguing because it was the first generation of them like doing that.
Yep.
And so I mean I get it. It's unfortunate, but like damn, like to talk, like to bring the grandparents in, that's an even deeper generation separation.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, it did backfire because for me, not knowing how to speak my own language is a disconnect from my culture. And the only culture that I had growing up was hip hop. So that's why I resonated it with that a lot more, regardless of my own, you know, my own culture. So I try to dive back because a sense of knowing who you are is where you have to have your foundation of, so that you know who you are and so that you can further your craft into whatever you're doing. So, and it also has a lot to do with your artistry too, because yeah, if you don't know who you are, you can't create something that is you, essentially you, right? So, but yeah, I know I got some flack before, but even before I got with Shanae, my like family members on my mom's side, they would talk to me. Oh, don't like I used to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get me a black girl, like and that's some real shit. Like that's some real
That a
shit.
long time ago too.
I said that a long time ago.
See, he spoken into existence.
Yeah, but then they were like, "Hey, first girl I ever kissed was black, by the way." So I'm just saying.
Shout out to the black girls.
Come on, shout out to the black girl. Some of
Ooh-wee.
y'all, anything's out there, baby. You know what I'm talking about in LA. You know what I'm talking about.
Shit.
Man, damn it! It's at 1 minute. Let me restart this. Let me restart this. I'm gonna restart it. Hold up. I'm gonna restart this. Let me.
Gangster. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to my anythings in LA, baby. Much love to you. You know what I'm saying. God, dog. Let's get the rhythm of the high dog. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my anything. Anything. Shout out. Shout out to my anything. Here no boys go. Boys working. Oh, it's probably muted. Yeah, you muted. Gangster.
we ran at the cusp, man. It was like, oh man. But yeah, like it's. I want to wait till Justin gets back.
Yeah.
Let me use the restroom real quick.
For sure.
I'll be right back.
Feel like a homie of Kylo Ren, aka Raven. We got my nigga Goku and Mario going Super Saiyan with the blue eyes, pimp. What you know about it? See, this is where they fucked up in the details. They were supposed to make Mario's eyebrows gold. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to make Mario's eyebrows and his mustache gold. Because Goku's eyebrows is gold. He just ain't got no mustache. That would have set it off. But I understand because they didn't want to make everything so bright because his hat is already fucking. But fuck it, nigga. We Super Saiyan around this bitch. I'm feeling like a Super Saiyan, huh? Next on Dragon Ball Z.
What is going on?
Next on Dragon Ball Z.
The 15
Goku
episodes.
will go Super Saiyan.
He's up, no, Frieza. Up, no, Goku. Goku. Oh my god,
man. Yo.
Hell yeah, man. That's crazy though. Yeah. My mom said that's the first time I heard about it. I remember being in the car with said family members on my mom. Like I being in the car with said family members in my in the car, and it was my dad and then these other people in the car, and we're talking about it. And that's when I said, "Oh, I'm gonna marry a black girl." I was like, "What's wrong with that?" And then they went and said, "Why don't you, why would you want to do that? Why don't you marry a white girl if you're gonna marry outside the race?"
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
And I said, "What the hell?" Like,
it shows you the perception though, because they like, well, you'll be winning by giving it away. Exactly. Yeah, no, because if you go outside your race.
Yeah, if you're gonna marry somebody outside the race, why don't you do like a white person? Because I don't know, whatever. And I started getting upset, and then my dad held my shoulder like this. He's all, he looked at me and said, and I was like,
that's a Bruce Lee moment.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't notice this before. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, my dad's slick as fuck. Like, I was like, wow. Because he held my shoulder. He said, don't, like, he gave me that look. Don't even argue with them. They're stuck in their ways. They don't understand. And that's what's cool about that's what's cool about our side of the family. Because I've never seen any type of hate like that ever. nothing where they're bickering amongst each other. Like our family, for the most part, have always been like super close knit. Like Justin is technically like our cousins. It's like we're brothers, not like cousins. Like we're close. That's how I feel about it. Like, and then on the other side, when I heard that, I was like, oh fuck that.
Facts.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I get that. I mean, that's the only time I ever got that, and I know people are going to look at it as different. You know what I mean? I get it. I get stares all the time when I'm walking around. You know what I mean?
And you notice it.
I what? I'm not gonna do nothing, but you know.
I know.
Yeah. If I look at the back, I'm all, just give him a little smile.
But on the flip side, it's also like, damn, he got her. Like, that's how I see it sometimes. Like,
thank you, man. You think Shanae is beautiful. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Real.
I love Shanae. Shout out to Shanae.
Shout out to Shanae, man.
She about to be the next one on this podcast soon.
Oh, Glaze Pop Sugar Shout. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, NappooBeats.
Hey.
And the voice behind the label.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, she's the voice. She's the power behind this man. Come on, let's get real now.
Let's go. That's the rock right there. She's the rock. Yeah. That's a rock right there, man. And that's dope.
Damn, Tim, how much Spanish do you speak?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Hey, Justin. All right, so when I first met this fool, right? I first met him. He was like, I thought he was just black, and then he was just like, he started speaking Spanish, and I was like, "Are you Dominican?" He said, "What you talking about?" He kept denying. I was like, "I literally just saw you speak Spanish." He's like,
"Wasn't me,
Spanish, man."
Wasn't me.
He's like, "Wasn't me, man." I was like, "What are you talking about, man? You joking? Like, you joking when we were? I just seen you speak to this family." Like,
and I was like, "Everybody,
not me."
I was speaking Spanish. He's like, I speak 2 languages.
Cantonese. I speak English and Ebonics.
That's what he said to me. I was like, "Oh, shut up!" Shut up! I just heard you speak Spanish. Like,
no hablo English, homie.
No Nintendo. No Nintendo.
Yeah, no Nintendo. But see, that's an educated Spanish joke though. See, nobody knows what. Yeah, you can't say that. That's how I caught you too. If you saying Nintendo, I took Spanish class.
See. He said that's an educated Spanish joke. It is too. When you go through the layers, you're like, yeah, that's funny.
I say broke in Spanish. Me no hablo.
Me no hablo.
Real.
I think that's dope though. Like to dive into, the beauty of language, learning a different language is like, man, if I was rapping, I can go English to Spanish back to Spanglish. Like,
yes,
you reach a like
even
when Jocelyn Rice, like she speaks Japanese, and so that reaches out like a different fan base.
Yes,
and all she's doing is just being herself, and I think that's dope.
That's deep. Even the first song I went back and released when I got back into the game last year in July, the first song I released was fucking Más Fuerte, Spanish song, my reggaeton song, where I went through all these different lyrics and made the song make sense based off of all the lyrics that was available on Splice.
Damn. That's dope.
Yeah.
But it's never too late. Like I know before I die, I'm gonna be fluent in Spanish and Tagalog.
Yes. So when I say Kamustaka, you could say Mabuti. You know.
There you
my
go.
Booty.
My booty.
Yeah.
I want to know how to speak Ilocano, man, because that's your
shit.
Me.
Huh?
I'm pure-blooded Ilocano, so
yeah.
And it's just like
FBI.
FBI, full blood Ilocano. Yeah, man, I need to learn that. I don't know. I want to ask my mom, but I feel like she'll be impatient with me, and I just get mad at her too, because Because
she won't.
You don't think so?
Nah, dude.
I used to try to ask her before, and then she's like, "Oh, I used to teach Dominic when he was little. He used to know all the words." That's like, I know he don't know it now.
What about me, Mama? What about me?
No, you gonna teach a grandson, not me. I know. Skipping generations right here, baby.
No, she's like, we didn't want you to get made fun of when you were little. I was like, oh,
dang. So that is that's the common thing.
Yeah.
Hey, come to America. They work so hard to come to America, and then they want you to fit in, so then you don't feel like you're back in the old spot, like poor. I guess that might be
Trade off.
uh yeah. Well, the mentality of it, like come from over there, third world. So
Yeah, it's actually so rare that like when someone speaks, like when you know someone that speaks Tagalog, it's like, damn, you lucky. Like it's a big thing. Like it should be as easy as Spanish. Actually, Spanish and Tagalog are like one and the same. That I actually speak more Spanish than Tagalog, and because I speak more Spanish, I was able to get around in the Philippines. Because like with
Mm.
basic stuff like directions and food and you know take out the trash, shit like that, and then you throw in a few basic English words,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Language
gets you learn quick. Like that's the one thing I love about traveling is you get absorbed in their culture and you're like that's like my favorite thing to do. I bring a dictionary and translate and like order food, in Portuguese, let's say. Like it's fun. And they respect that because you're trying, not the other way around.
you remember, not like here in the United States, you speak Spanish like English. Motherfuckers be mad.
Yeah.
Hey, remember we went to San Diego and you ordered some tacos, Justin?
Oh, me, yeah.
Yeah, he
I
fucking
already
ordered. He fucking ordered brain ass tacos, man. Brain tacos. Yeah.
Seso.
Seso.
Seso. Oh, Seso.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh,
Ugh.
that sounds good.
No.
Like, I was trying. Yeah, I was done.
The lady was like, "Are you sure?" Like, yeah, why not? Sure, why not? Dude, that's the kind of meat that just goes right through your teeth, bro.
Just the slime. Yeah.
Look at Justin's face. Look
Look,
at him. He
look. Oh,
remembers
you
that
ate
shit.
it? He ate it?
Yeah, we
I
ate
tried
it.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
y'all
tried
ate
it.
it?
We had two. We had
Yeah.
two, and I don't think I finished it, but
No,
honestly,
no.
it was the texture more than the flavor. Like, I mean, I've tried lengua too. I
Lengua.
mean,
That's what I was gonna ask.
pork
Yeah.
intestines. I mean, shit.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
but
that.
Yeah,
but the fact
tripas.
that yeah, like I wasn't expecting it, and so I just did it out of like courtesy, I guess. And
Yo.
Edward was there. If I was if he wasn't there, I'd be like trash, basura.
Yeah,
Dame
it
dos
won't look like
tacos
a bitch in
con
front of your
carne
homies.
asada. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
exactly.
do it.
No, I tried it too. It was an experience for sure. I don't know if I eat brains again.
But that was at like King Taco, which is like
Mm.
one of
Was it
the
a King Taco?
Wow. Yeah,
I don't
King
yeah
Taco
remember
got
it.
that shit.
one
Well, hold
one
up,
of
Yeah.
the
Sesso?
one of the main spots, Chula Vista.
Oh, okay. Okay, we went to one. I didn't know it was a King Taco. My bad. I thought it was just just a spot, like just a
La King of
Mexican spot.
Tacos, way.
Taco gold.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim, I think it might be. What time is it?
Oh
How much?
yeah,
Where
yeah.
we at? Where we at?
251. I know. Look,
Okay, all right, yeah. So you got that question.
so all right, so that I guess I do got called back. That's funny. Cause I be going like from what you said earlier. And there's two moments that I want to bring back. One of them was you said how your family supported, friends and family supported, but then they didn't really know what it was and how far serious you were with it. And so when I asked Louis that question, that makes sense on that aspect. That makes sense. But now,
What did he say?
hold up, I'm gonna get to it.
Okay,
I'm gonna bring it
my
all the
bad.
way around. So they don't really know what it's gonna be, and they don't know how much they should expect for it because they still got good intentions. They want you, hey, you still get a job though, because they want to make sure that you're financially free. Another point I wanted to make too, and I feel that this is all artists. I'm going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to make this declaration. You said I would rather do things for free, to be honest. And I feel every artist feels that way if we did not have to worry about food, clothing, and shelter.
Mm,
We didn't have to worry about
yeah.
making money to survive and live. We would all make free ass art for free as fuck and put it all out because we wouldn't be caring. We know it's gonna heal. It's healing us. It'll heal somebody, and we'll put that shit because we do it for free regardless. I really feel that.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that was deep. Yeah, all right. a lot of interviews that I've seen, a lot of inspirational videos that I've seen are if find what you would do for free and that's your passion. I mean, as cliche as that sounds, uh, I didn't know, I didn't realize throughout my journey that I would say that. I was just doing it
Mm.
because I enjoyed it, and to look back, like when I'm at work doing my other job, and I'm like, damn, I not that I would clock out early, but I'd rather leave work. I'd rather call in sick if I could, just to do this, interview today.
Mm.
Like, and so when you treat things that you would do for free like you're getting paid to do it, that's another level too. Like, like on the real, like I listen, I dove back into a few episodes just to get an idea of what to expect in producer thoughts, and I did it naturally, as opposed to, I mean, some people just got it like that where you can just dive in, and respect to that, but like for me, I had to like prepare, and people don't understand that sometimes. Um, and so when I understood that for myself, like what I can just go into and be okay, the elephant in the room, and be successful in it, that's different. But with this element where I'm out of my comfort zone, I I had to prepare. And if you didn't ask me that, people had never known. Maybe they wouldn't, maybe they would, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
Shout out to you, man, because that takes courage again. I used to tell my mama about the reason why people appreciate her advice so much is because she has courage and compassion. The difference between my mama and my grandpops is that my grandpops has a lot of shame with his past. He doesn't have courage to tell you where he fucked up to make sure that you won't fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
My mom will tell you all her fuck ups to make sure you don't fuck up. And that's that same courage I'm talking right here. That compassion to
Yeah.
say, hey man, I know myself. Like this whole journey is figuring out yourself. And Ed said it earlier. When you create, you're creating yourself. Like there's a great quote that said, God can't create nothing without his thumbprint on it.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that
That's
means it's
dope.
always in you. Uh, and so by you being able to say like, hey, you know yourself and you needed to do the preparation, because while you were sitting there talking and shit, I'm like, nigga, this nigga sitting there posted like this. Like, I'm like, nobody else would know unless you said that,
Hmm.
oh, this is considered outside of your comfort zone. You're not stuttering. You're not having no speech impediment. You're not fucking going, I'm flustered. You're not doing none of that. You look like
Hmm.
calm, cool, and collected. But there was that extra preparation that went in. Like that other meme I like to see where it's the person juggling the plates and it said, "This is what the crowd sees." And then in the back, you see all the busted
Uh,
ass plates.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh,
like
that's dope.
that's this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tie it
Thank you.
into what you said earlier because I asked Chris this question, and I'm gonna ask it again to see to see if you say what you said earlier. But when people see your work, right? What what do you want them to feel from it? Like, what is your legacy like at the end of the day that you want to leave with your photography?
My perspective. That's it. And so there's different layers on how people. Um, hold on, real quick.
Yep.
I gotta show you something. So like I have like a pile of pictures like on the ground right now, and there's a this is a random picture. This is my brother. This is my middle brother Brian, and that's Jerry, and that's my homie Eddie in the back. And so this is just a picture in the club, and I'm the one that took the picture. So like this is them in their like natural pose and element. Like Brian's always like, and so and he and when he looks at that, I want him to remember that time that he took it, because I'm the one that told him to dig into like figuring out, because that's like 15 years old right there, that picture.
Mm.
So if you don't have something to bring you back to that time, you're gonna forget it. And on a deeper level, like when I'm older, I need these resources to take me out of the disease of Alzheimer's, and like getting old and just getting sick. so that mental memory is. I want them. I want them to be stimulated into my perspective. Yeah. Because I don't know who it was. Someone took a picture and they're like, "Man, this ain't gonna last in 20 years." I'm like, "Says who?" In my head, says who? Like, if you make it a memory and you post it on the wall, you're gonna remember that. Like, I got the background, but there's about like 50 pictures behind me.
For real?
Like,
you a photographer for real?
No. This is I'm in the family bonus room, and it's just like my auntie and my uncle and stuff, and it's like those keep me going through like the negativity, especially during this time. So make a long story short and a short story long, I just don't want my art to die. Just like I will. I mean, I'm physically gonna die, but I want my art to live. And my path is through photography and the storytelling.
Preach. And what's dope is I'm glad you gave that, because when people go back and listen to the earlier version of what you said with that, it's still the same through line and essence and theme of capturing the perspective of them and their natural element outside of what people normally know them as. You said that picture's 15 years old. You know he's always going, but everybody don't know that he's always going, It's only that only happens in certain environments around certain people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when other people see it, they're like, "Oh, you like that?"
Yes. I want to add one more thing because to me it's important. Judo One was telling me, so he's successful in like an art as as an inspector, as a father, as a soon to be husband. And he's like, why does there have to be a ceiling? Like, why can't I thrive as an inspector and not just as an artist, or vice versa? Like, why you can level up in all of it. So that's how I feel. Like, you guys inspire me to jump in the music game. Like, I may not get to it this year, who knows, but like I think courage is important, because that's how we live. Like, you can't be stuck in your bubble and be happy. I don't think you can. I feel like you can't. So that's why I wanted to talk that. For those reasons, that's what made me want to join you guys in this conversation, because I wanted to, like, I'm on the same page, not in the music field, but like as an artist. So
100%.
yeah, respect to you guys.
Hey, respect to you, brother. Real shit. I know, right? Real shit.
Hey, salute, man.
Respect to you, brother.
Yeah, respect to you.
Yeah.
You've you've exhibited a lot of entrepreneur. Like, an entrepreneur is viewed as a negative thing, or it's viewed as a negative thing because everybody wants you to have a stable job, even though the pandemic showed everybody ain't got stable jobs, nigga. If a fucking virus finna fuck shit up, right? Might as well do what you love instead of be stressed out there, right?
Oh shit.
But yeah, no, as an artist. And so as an artist, it's still, and that's why I get to still ask you the same kind of questions, because the endeavor is, as an artist and an entrepreneur, it's the same. It's simultaneous, because you're your own business. When it says that when we look at when the footage, when the digital assets get uploaded to this podcast, on the side, on left and right of Mr. Tabije's face, the photo says TabijePhoto. It don't say Canon. It don't say Nikon. It don't say fucking Sony, Panasonic. It don't say nobody else. It says your name, which means you are the business. You are the brand. And that means you got to drive that bitch. You got to be there and wake up. You can't call out on yourself. Woo.
Yeah.
No, hell no.
Oh, man.
And so
that was me yesterday.
LA situation.
Yeah.
And so throughout this, since it's a lonely road being an artist, and we're often misunderstood because we're considered eclectic, and we're a person that's willing to be by ourselves in solitude and work on a project to see it into its end. And they'd be like, "Man, how many hours you work on that?" Well, I drove and did location scouting. Then I took back a client over there, and then I had to spend time editing it, and then I got my finals, and then I sent it to them. Then they ask for revisions and edits, and then I send it, and then like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Facts.
throughout this process, yeah, I know, but throughout this process, people they misunderstand you. So what is it that you know the people close to you don't know? Like what is it about your art and your
Ooh.
photography that you know they don't understand that you want them to?
I think before last year, before I started writing, people didn't understand me. And when I did I was inspired by Edward and his brother. Uh, they did like more than 30 days. What did you do? 45 days of
40 days and 45 days.
man. And then Jordan did the same thing. That inspired me to do 30 days of Tabije. So whether it was new or old, I wrote about it like thoroughly.
Oh yeah, you
So
did.
yeah,
That's
so
right.
that was during the pandemic. I had a paid blessed target, dude, like for just being alive this whole time. So I was able to get paid time off, and through that time, I like dove into things that are important to me, and I wrote like really thoroughly. And because I didn't do it often, it took me longer. So I would be like stuck in my room for like 6 hours. I'm like, damn, I thought I was gonna finish this in an hour, but it didn't work out like that. Uh, but before that, I had all this energy, and I didn't know how to express it, and I came to, I wouldn't say a plateau of photography, but I came to like I had to reevaluate my art. So I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do this, I need to add another layer. I didn't feel like my photos were legit in my eyes, but I wanted to paint a picture. Um, and so after that, I think now people understand my approach. Um, so like right now, I'm doing, I send random text messages. Like I'll probably send that to the group of friends. Like, oh shit, I remember that was fucking Mexico, and we were drunk as fuck. Blah blah blah. Like I enjoy that selflessly. Um, so yeah, uh, I I just damn I discovered myself last year. Shit, woo! As an artist, yeah, and I'm just gonna roll with that.
Straight up.
Thank you for
Yeah.
asking that.
Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm sorry, Ed. I got another question right before the question because it's
No,
just like
it's
this
all
is a.
good. Hey,
All right. I
you
don't want you
asking
to be
all the
late for
right
work.
questions.
I don't want you to be late for work.
Now it's
Uh,
1:30, bro. I got a few hours. I'm gonna get some Apex in a little bit.
all right, gangster, gangster. But I wanted to ask this because this is my dilemma as the photographer as well. Now, you said how you want those photos to like leave a memory and last and stuff like that. But one thing I did notice as I was starting to get more heavy into photography is that you just showed me that picture right there. You said it was your middle brother, um,
Older brother and
older brother, and then the homie in the back chilling. And you took the picture.
mm-hmm.
As a photographer, you are most of the person taking a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Who takes your picture? Where can we have your pictures for the legacy? Leave on. Do you do self portraits? Like what is it? Come on.
Selfies.
And that's what I'm trying to do now.
There we
Like
go.
be on this platform, for example. Um, because yeah, I would I don't need to be in it as I don't need to be involved as much as the rest, but I'm gonna tell you this story because it relates to your question. There's this girl, her name is Perry. She's a Muay Thai photographer. She was in Brooklyn, New York, and she's already there. She's in Amsterdam to pursue her passion. Which I mean, she's already pursuing her passion, but she's going deeper into it. So during the pandemic, she moved. Decided to move to
A little bit
all
of
right,
technical difficulties. Oh, there you go.
all right.
Cool.
once she decided that she was going to move to Amsterdam, she came back home. Little did I know she's from Riverside. She's from Riverside, California, which is like 20 minutes from me. And I was trying to like reach out to her because I was inspired, like, hey, let's, what can I do to help? She she was busy. She was busy with photo shoots and blah blah blah. And I'm like, how else can I link up with her? She's all, you know what? Let's do a photo shoot. Because I reached out, can you photo shoot me? She's like, yeah, yeah. She got busy, didn't happen. I'm like, well, I still want to meet her. I don't care about that. And so I offered to photograph her in Riverside for her fans to understand like her back end, where she's from, and And so I interviewed her in Riverside at the I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Flabob Airport, Falbob. It's basically two people. They combine their names, Flabob. That's why it's a little weird. Anyway, I interviewed her there, took a few photographs. I even got into detail. Like, she posted an Instagram the day before. It said, Dodgers, never forget where you came from. Like, I'm on my way, but never forget where you came from. Pictures of Dodgers. And I remember that. So I brought a tall can of Bud Light, which is like the sponsor of the Dodgers. It's Dodger Blue, and it ties in, and it's American beer. It ties into like her life. And so she's like, I've never had someone interview me like this, or like journal. I'm like, I know. So I wanted her to look back at what I did that day. It was for 45 minutes. I actually caught her between, she's on her way to LA to photograph. And I stopped her to like just be thankful about her journey. She was about to leave. And that, in my perspective, that's enough for me. Like, if someone were to do that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not in all the pictures. I'm in the important group pictures, but I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Like, I'm the photographer. I'm okay.
Big. So just give you a photographer spotlight though. Cause I'm saying, man, I just want y'all to get the recognition, man. Like, I remember when I was taking all these pictures and then I came back and it was like, Tim, where you at? I was like, nigga, I'm the one taking the pictures. It was like, but Tim, you're Tim. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, but I'm doing this photography shit. And they're like, but Tim, just like how Ed said, he was like, well, man, it's not as fun if you don't like make it all as fun. And if everybody not willing to do that, I had to like choose.
I on my birthday, I went there's a small group of us. We went Kobe Bryant mural hopping, which was outside. It's safe, and I wanted to do it. Love the Lakers. And I had them, and it was for my birthday, and I had them take pictures of me. And I'm like, hey, take this picture of me. Like, hey, what about her? And it was for my birthday, so I just like kind of let it all out. Like, I don't give a fuck. Just take it for me.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like I should be like that more often, but at the same time, like, can't have the whole cake. I mean,
self-love is a part of that cake, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They make different types of cakes too. It's not just one, and you could buy more. So I'm just saying, why not have a cakes? Just like Judah once said, right? Just like Judah once said, he talking about different cakes.
Yeah,
he eating all of it, right? Fuck y'all!
Hey.
Oh shit!
Hey.
To add to what Chris was saying, damn, lost my train of thought.
Hey, I had a question too, but I forgot what I was going to say.
My bad, man. Wrap it up.
I was lost in the, no, it's good. I was lost in the sauce. I was like, soaking in all this information.
He was saying that he's been taking selfies like of himself, like
professional
just because. Well, whether or not it's just for fun or whatever he's tapping into. So
tap in,
but
tap in.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Like, I wouldn't have thought about that. So shit.
Oh, that's the question. Real quick, sorry, Tim. Damn. So you were saying it's crazy because when you're going through talking about how you found yourself and everything like that, So every artist goes through that. I just want to reaffirm that it does happen with every artist, especially with every artist that's
Mm.
been on here, every
Wow.
producer. But everybody says there's a time in their life where they had to reevaluate or they lost their passion, or so they thought that they lost their passion for it, but they hit a
So they
plateau.
thought.
So
Uh-huh.
they
Mm,
thought,
yeah.
and then something happens where a drastic change happens, and this might be like a break too, like for a year, 2 years, whatever. But it just shows that every artist everywhere has a break or in time where they just question their love for their craft, and it's a normal
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's a normal thing. So whoever is like just starting it, like whoever's listening, you know what I mean, like whoever's just starting it or whoever's just feeling down about their things, because I just redid I reevaluated too,
Yeah.
again after 3 or 4 months
Yeah.
of reevaluating again, and it's
Yeah.
so it happens, and then I mean the goal is to not get discouraged about it, but to take them as like lessons within your journey of it. And yeah, that
Yeah.
just reminded me of saying that shit. So that was dope that I got to
That's
hear you say that.
inspiring. Yeah. And I don't get tired of hearing words of affirmation. Is that the right word?
Yep.
Yeah,
Like even though those are true, like just to hear it again, and especially from someone else,
And
is
somebody else's
like,
voice. Yeah.
mm,
yep, it does.
Real spill. All right. So we're going to end it like this, baby. You already know it's coming. So, what is the best way that you want? And I mean, like call to action. You know what you got a website, so you know about call to action. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna put a call to action to anybody that supports you, how do you want them to support you? Like, tell them straight up. This is how you want them to support you.
I'm gonna be I don't I don't know exactly how I'm gonna approach this, but what I do know is that like the pictures and what I have with me, I want to like I want to give it back to people. So whether it be through t-shirts, like I was just thinking like, man, what if I had this right here? Like would they wear it? Would it be funny? Like what if this was like Edward and like the family? Like that would be I would wear it.
So you will make that, and you will want the family to support you by buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I started thinking about the selling part as far as like shirts and stickers or whatever, because I want to give back to like whatever it is, like give back. All proceeds go to, you know, college education in the Philippines. Like
Nice.
that's my main goal. I want to have an art gallery, and all the, you know, a portion of this will go to the people in the hurricane victim. I don't know. You know what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
But that's my goal, to give back. Help me give back to people in need. Shit.
Support you.
Community
Give.
work.
Yeah.
Community work.
Community work.
Yeah. I feel that, man. I'm right there with you. I have a
Hey,
yeah.
rest in
Hey,
peace, by the
rest in
Hey,
way.
rest in
peace.
peace,
Rest in
Rest in
Debo
peace.
peace.
Tiny. Listen, man. That's
Yeah.
dog.
I have a heat press where I have this material that I use for my Rucky Finster shirts. That I just printed the design on it, and then you heat press it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like those iron-on ones where they like flake and stuff when you put them in the washer. Like
Hmm.
this shit does not come off. Like it doesn't fade. Like it's crazy. But it's like a
Oh,
material, and it's kind of paperish almost, but it's
yeah.
like a plastic, like a hard plastic. So it has this
This
consistency of that.
this is actually kind of feels like that too. And I've watched it a lot, and still looks good.
I just get self conscious of it because it's like it doesn't feel like silk screen, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
I was
hey,
actually gonna hit you up about that, like just to pick your brain about it.
I told
Gotta start
Shanae,
somewhere.
yeah, hey man, I told Shanae that I took a photo of her the day after we got married, and she has this on her page, but she's like holding her bag that says "I do," and like she
Yeah.
has like it's like in the stairwell with like green trees around it, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna print that shit and then put it on my shirt so I
I
can
think I
wear
know
that.
which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's one of the main ones. I was like, oh, I'm proud of that one. I'm gonna do that. But yeah,
Dope.
There you go, man. I want to do community work. You told it. You put that into. You spoke it into existence. You said, I want to do this. I want to do that. That's dope. And then now you got to do is do it.
Yeah.
Blank.
And it's
I want to use money as my tool, not like I'm not going to be chasing it. I want.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about you guys? What's your goal? What's your home?
Oh, well, I mean, for me, I make beats for rappers, and I want people to rap on my beats.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is I want to do sound design for stuff. So I love sound design. That's fun. That's fun for me. I was going to try to work on some reels. So that's what I'm going to do. Just those two things, music wise.
Right.
I'm going to do that.
I want to make beats for TV and film. And I want to go ham on these melodies.
Yeah.
If I go ham on these melodies and I got loops for show, we can put out Broken Vegetables because we're 20 episodes in and it's still out. But
it's a process.
It is a process, man. We doing all this shit, man. Like, the motherfucker said, like, you got to wear all these hats. I was like, nigga, we graphic design, photography, web design, social media market managers, music producers, mixers, master engineers. Did I already say graphic design for the damn album covers? Fucking production people with YouTube shows and shit. Like, this shit is a whole thing. And
this whole thing right now is a freaking show, bro. Like, we could put scenes and everything in it. Like, Tim, he's the director. I'm like the assistant director because we're trying to help
out. Host.
Host, You know,
we just fucking tag team this whole shit up, man.
Cool, man.
I feel it's all coming to fruition. Nah, dude, it's been our pleasure, man. Cause like when he said, "Oh yeah," because like I'm never objected to anybody coming on the shit, and I'm always just like, I can see where the connection gonna lie. But I was fucking geeked, and I was like, man, let me try to like, you know what I mean? I don't want to curb my enthusiasm because I want you to feel that too, so you can be like, damn, I'm talking to somebody that understands my language. But at the same time, I didn't want to take the floor because I want everybody to understand where you're coming from, so we all know how to support you. You got to support it right here, straight up.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and you're always welcome to, hit us up, whatever. You got our contact info. You're more than welcome to come back on here and talk about some shit if you want to.
See what you up to then.
Yeah.
See what's up with Janelle, I think her name was.
We had less than a minute, so I'm going to sign off. NappooBeats.
Peace.
All right.
And thanks again to you. TabijePhoto. Thanks, cousin. We'll be in touch.
All right. Peace.
Peace.